Good morning, and thank you all for coming. This is a meeting of the newly elected candidates or newly elected members now with all of the department heads, just for us to do a round robin for you all to hear from the department heads of what their operations are, the number of staff they have, and anything else that they would like to tell you. And then afterwards, you can ask each individual department head questions as we go around. I am going to call on select people first thing this morning so that they can go ahead and get back to their jobs, such as Dustin needs to be on Main Street and Matt and Vicky are working always, and then Carrie as well. And then the rest of us will be here for the duration. So with that said, we'll just jump right off into the deep end, and we're going to start with Dustin.
Oh, yeah. I'm Dustin Graham. I'm the public work. Oh, not that. I used to be public work. Code enforcement officer / project supervisor for the town. I've been in this role a little over 2 years. But before that, I was a public works director from 2009 up till a little over 2 years ago. I also do permits for the town for driveways. I inspect the driveways. I also do fence permits. I also do accessory structures. We also look at that. I also look at that for permitting to see where that's at. Code enforcement. Also, I do zoning violations for the town for trespassing, like accessory structures that's in the wrong place, or bulkheads, docks, or anything like that that's dealing with the UDO violations. I deal with that. Also, mini code, anything dealing with the town mini code, I deal with that. Like lots, houses, anything that's houses that's need to be fixed or anything like that, I deal with that. Any violations, dealing with that. Like I said, vacant lots, houses with the grasses growed up, I deal with all that leaf and limb. I send letters out for that. I do my own letters. I don't have an assistant, so I have to do everything myself. Projects, all the projects, Catchment 7, parking on the island, beach accesses that need to be rebuilt. Also doing the connections from the sidewalk to the beach accesses, the ones that we just recently done. I'm working with an engineer to make them connections for ADA purposes. Also, Fire Station 2, the land behind Fire Station 2, Majestic Oaks Park, the corridor study, 94 corridor study, I'm involved. So any projects that's going on, I'm involved in that project. So there's a lot that I do here and out all the time. But yeah,
Did you say something about Fire Station 2,
the land behind Fire Station 2,
that you manage that, or what did you say?
the projects going on about what we're doing out there with it, like filling it in, moving dirt out there.
Thanks. So as far as Fire Station 2 is concerned, you notice that all the overflow equipment and trailers and lay down stuff is sitting over here in this parking lot right now because Public Works and Fire Station are out of space. And we've been looking for land for years on trying to resolve that. Fire Station 2, what we're doing right now is hauling in the dirt from the Majestic Oak property that's being stored there from both of those projects that are ongoing. That will be hauled to the Fire Station 2 land. That land will be brought up level with Fire Station 2, and 57 stone will be brought in to make it conducive to hold a fire truck and anything else that we need. And then all of this will be moved over. The initial idea was to fence in that little space that they're using there. Our quotes ranged from $25,000 to $35,000. I did not feel that was a good use of money. So we have backed up and are going out to Fire Station 2 with all of that equipment. So that's what he means by Fire Station 2. Got anything else?
I also going to do the tree surveys. So if anybody comes in for a tree, wants to remove a tree or anything like that, I look at that. I permit that. Developers now, there is an exemption for less than a half an acre for a single family and multi-family house. There is an exemption for that. But anything over that, they have to provide me a tree survey, and I look at that and see what type of trees there is, if it's regulated or heritage trees, and what they have to do to mitigate that. If they have to do any, and they have to go by the rules, they got to plant back inch for inch by that rule. Golf courses is they can have up to 25 trees removed, but they have to be within 15 foot of the cart path before they can remove them.
Yeah, that's a question. On Maple's course, there's a lot of trees that are wrapped with white ribbon, and a lot of questions are being asked if they are due for removal or what. So I figure I'd give you an opportunity to address that to everybody.
What they have told me is they are going through all their properties, are surveying the trees for history or historical. They're not doing no removal or anything at this point. They're just doing it for data purposes, so they'll know what they got, the inventory. That's all they're doing. There's no plans of removing any trees at this time.
Is this the same information that you gave to the candidates?
Yeah.
And any other information that they ask other than what we've asked, or any information that you provided to them that you didn't provide to us?
No.
Okay. Just want to make sure that all
Yeah,
the information was provided.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
The same thing.
Thanks, Dustin.
Thank you.
With the Majestic Oaks Park, we had a meeting last week, and we were questioning getting that cleaned up because
Yes.
it looks bad. And it sounds like December 12th is the date it'll be cleaned up and back to.
Well, that's the
how
day
it
of the
should be.
deadline of the project. Now
Right.
that they still have to clean up afterward, but that stuff that's over there was tore out of the ground,
Right.
boxes, and there's still some pipes that's going to have to be removed.
Mhm.
So, but at the end of the project, yeah, everything will be cleaned up at the end.
So mid-December
Yes.
should be our goal
Yes.
for that.
Yes.
Okay.
The project is done is by
Okay.
12, but you still,
Okay.
but everything will be cleaned up, and I will sign off before the last
Okay.
payout. So
In the future, for any projects, can we have alternate storage for the what I would call the junk that's stored or used there versus that being because I guess when that's pulled out of the ground, to me, could it not be then taken to wherever it's going versus there? Like right now, it's
well, they didn't have a dump truck on hand when they removed all that stuff. So as they brought dump trucks down, they've been hauling stuff away already
okay.
as they've been coming and going. So when one brings stone, whatever, they take something back with them as they
Okay.
going. But yeah, there's still some pipe and there's still some concrete. So they've been separating it out because they take it to different sites. Or like asphalt, they take it to Bar Hill, and there's a recycling place they take the other stuff to. So they're separating it.
Just it being a neighborhood area,
Yeah.
we hear a lot of complaints already from that, and I'm sure y'all have as well. If we could
What you're
try to
saying,
make that back to the state it was in initially
Yeah.
until we do something with it.
what you're stating is the contractor has the responsibility to remove those things.
Yes.
And you, as the project manager, will ensure that those are all the things that are there, the unused pipes, just the unsightly that's out there, that you, as the project manager, will sign off that all of that's been removed.
Yes. Before we do the last payout, I'll make sure it's all done and cleaned back to the natural state.
And your anticipated date on that is mid-December.
Because even though the deadline is the 12th, that's for the project, but he still have, some tidying up maybe to clean up to do.
Sounds good.
I'm going to assume that once Majestic Oaks is completed as a park, we'll have an alternative site.
We'll have to
Should
find,
that be necessary?
yeah, we'll have to find somewhere.
Okay.
We'll have to find another piece somewhere if we do another project. anything like that, we'll have to find some land somewhere to store stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
And my hope would be, that's not going to happen overnight. So my hope would be if another project comes along before that's finished, that we don't use that
Right.
as a staging area for projects
No,
in a residential area.
No, once you develop into a park, we wouldn't use that again.
Right, but I mean, until
Right.
then's what I'm saying. Can we look
Right.
into alternate storage
Mm.
if there is another one?
Yeah, we'll have
come
to
up?
find some land somewhere.
Okay. Or have the vendors, contractors take it off.
Or yeah.
and
But
Well,
contract.
what
just-
I think Ms. Batchelor is stating is that it's an unsightly look.
Mhm.
And moving forward, even after the mid-December, when that contractor is finished, I don't think our community would like for that to continue to be a staging area for whatever projects that we have.
Okay.
And you're stating that you don't believe that that's going to be the case, or do you state that that is going to be the case?
I don't know. It depends on what projects y'all got next going on. We'll have to look at. Yeah. What's the next project?
We would hope it would not be unsightly like it is now.
Okay.
One other question about the zoning ordinance, the ordinances. I guess we had asked some questions in last week's meeting regarding some lots and properties that just aren't following ordinances, I guess you would say. What was mentioned there was that it was a staffing issue, and that it's more reactive versus proactive. And didn't know what you feel like, your take on that, and if you feel like what needs to happen to get that more proactive, where I know, for example, a property beside me that's a vacant lot that hasn't been cut in over a year. And I feel like every time when I call it, eventually will get cut. But, those are supposed to be cut twice a year. Vacant properties are. And I guess just in looking at the website, I found some documents out there that list ones that received letters and stuff like that. Is there a space or a document that has everything current that's been a letter sent to, or the update of the status of it? I know the major ones that are going on, like 4th Street and stuff, we received some updates on that, but just everything else. So that residents, for example, could say, that property on my street, this is what's been done on it, for example. Didn't know if that exists, or can that exist, of what you're gathering in the letters you're sending out.
Do we have anything on the website? Yeah, I've sent letters to the vacant lots next to you. Matter of
Okay.
fact, both of them.
Okay. Yeah.
And other lots on 28. So yeah, there's letters
Right.
been sent to them property owners
Yeah.
for them to move.
Yeah. But for example, I'll just use that as an example, not just one was mowed since the
Right.
September timeframe. And then the other one's nothing, just, and I know
Right.
before it's like, we'll check, and then it takes a while, I know. But just didn't know if there's a document on the town website where that can be viewed, where for any property, people can know the status of it or not, or do you wait a while, I know it can be a sensitive issue if it's a property, you don't want your property listed, but to me, after you've been given a warning, and to me, what's the process once that's identified? How long does it take? Like, to me, it shouldn't take over a year for a property to be mowed.
I'll give them 30 days.
Right.
Then I send a second letter if I don't get a response.
Okay.
I follow up. And if I don't get a response, then we look at hire somebody to come in and do it.
Okay.
Is what we do.
Okay.
That's how I'll handle it.
Okay.
But the contractor told me that he mowed your lot. Well, he called me back at first of the summer and told me he mowed that lot. First of
You
the
ride
summer.
by and look at it.
Okay. Yeah, I have. And I have resent them a letter.
Okay.
Let
Yeah.
them know they're in violation of
Maybe
that.
it was a mix, and I'm just using that
Okay.
as an example. Please
But-
know.
But,
I know there's a
but-
lot, but up to a lot of people, that's something they want to keep.
I
up
try to
on.
get through the town as much as I can.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have nobody to help me.
Okay.
I do my own stuff. So yeah, it takes a little time, but I try to get through much as I can.
Okay.
But when projects and stuff like this is going on, it ties me up a little bit more. So
You
I
definitely
don't,
have a lot on your plate.
yeah. So I have, I try to split as much as I can.
Okay.
Are you the only one that's doing code enforcement?
Well, there is In Focus that helps me a little bit. He does some houses and other stuff. That's big stuff that I can't get to. They help me on that. There are some houses that he's looking at.
How do you feel that's going? that
It's going good.
partnership?
He
Okay.
helps me out. He makes contact with the property owner and all that, and handles that on the side for me.
Okay.
Yes.
How do you feel response if he's contacted via email or other methods is going if the resident contacts him?
Good. He lets me know. He lets me know that it's being done
How often is he in town?
twice a week, twice a month.
Twice a month.
Yeah.
And he's here surveying the town.
Yes.
So you two parlay
Yeah.
with looking at things. We were provided a spreadsheet with the
Mhm.
list of identified properties. Is that inclusive of everything?
Hmm.
Where is the overall list of all the properties? Because it identified, I think it was 17 properties. And we know by driving around that there are far more properties that are out of code. Do y'all have a running list somewhere? I think that's another thing that Ms. Batchelor is asking
Running a
for.
list of
Like, is there like a spreadsheet, like for example, for XYZ properties, is there a spreadsheet that has these are the properties, this is the issue, this is when first contact was done, this is second contact, this
no,
is
I don't have that.
response? Okay.
No, but I look at that, but I don't
Okay.
have that.
Okay. Maybe we could look at creating
Yeah.
possibly something like that.
Yeah.
Because even I think if that was out there for residents to see, this is what's going on,
Okay.
it might alleviate contact as councils we're already receiving.
No, I don't have that.
Or for town, if that was out there, just to
Okay.
know, because it is a process, you know.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
And sometimes property owners, if they're out of town, they don't, you know,
Oh.
but there are great people that'll bush hog for $100.
Yeah. Yes.
A lot of the properties that you report, a lot of the properties you report in are listed on the weekly report by
Yes.
Lisa, and they're listed by
Parcels.
by property code.
By parcels or
Parcel.
addresses.
Okay.
Because
Most of them are
Mhm.
parcels,
yes.
except when you get to fences and streets
Yes.
and paving.
Yeah, because parcels, they don't get an address not till they get ready to build a house. That's when they get an address.
These are all 5 of these current ones are vacant then.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm also involved with this thing about streets, also involved with that, about paving or anything like that that goes on. I'm involved in that.
I'm sorry, could you repeat what you just said?
Paving streets or anything
Paving
like that. Yes,
streets.
I'm involved in that. With anything to dealing with the streets also, I'm involved with that. Stormwater, also involved with stormwater. Going through the island, we're working Matt with his crew about video and all our pipes over there on the island, all our stormwater pipes, evaluating them to see where there's any problems are at, and go ahead and making a list of them for future projects that what we need to do to fix them. So that's an ongoing project we got going too.
With that process of videoing those and, you know, analyzing
Mhm.
what needs to be done, is there like a plan or a spreadsheet that's being updated of that, prioritizing what needs to be done for that could be given to us? I know there was a stormwater plan that was old, but to me that would be beneficial in planning for the future.
We're just getting started with that. We haven't gone through the whole system yet to see what's the worst and bad yet. We're just getting started with that. But we'll at the end we'll evaluate and see where we at and what catchments. Cause I'm doing it by catchments. So then we'll see what catchment needs to be, what sections of pipes need to be fixed.
Okay.
Then we'll come with y'all with a list.
And when do you think that will be complete evaluating them?
Hopefully by next spring, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. But it takes a while to video and clean and all these pipes and get to them all because there's a lot of pipes on that island.
Ms. England, do you anticipate when this is over, the 2017 stormwater plan, when it is completed, are you anticipating starting another one?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember when, before 2017, our town had one, a stormwater plan?
I don't think we did
Okay.
before then.
So the 2017 plan was a new
Mhm.
plan.
because we hired an engineer to come in and evaluate everything with that.
Right. And you said that there are still a lot of items on there. Ms. Hanglin, I believe you told us there were
Yes, ma'am.
9 things that have not been identified,
There are 9 things that have not been completed on that list.
Okay.
So with those 9, we will add everything that they find new and develop that into a plan with cost estimates. And then they will also be ranked high to low.
By priority.
Right. And then each budget year, we would budget to do however many projects that you are willing to spend the money for.
And you put that in the capital improvement plan.
No, there's not a capital improvement plan for that.
We don't have a capital improvement plan for stormwater.
No.
And you
That would
said-
be a project just like any of the other projects that we don't budget that money. We know that the money's sitting there because we've got a plan that tells us all of this money. But until it's engineered, and if it's a DOT road, then we've got to go through a process with DOT. So like with Catchment 7, we've known Catchment 7 was coming for several years now, and the cost of that. But until we got through DOT and all the engineering, we don't budget that money until the town council actually awards a contract. And then with that award, the next item is the budget amendment to do that project.
And with the looking, Dustin, at the island, are you also looking at the mainland as well?
Yes.
Because we've heard a lot from the folks off of Shoreline East about concerns of them not being in the stormwater plan previously.
I know
And the
it was
ponds
in the
around there.
plan when we done it back in 18. It was, all this was incorporated. There's 3.5 miles back here
Okay,
of ditches and ponds, 9 ponds back here, and it was all put into plan. So
Okay.
we done island and back here, and part of Sea Trail was in that plan. So it was all put together.
okay.
You're
With
talking
that.
about back here
Yes.
behind Town Hall. All of
Station
that is
Trails,
included in the stormwater
yes.
plan.
And
It was a-
Shoreline Woods back there.
Station Trail, Shrine
Okay,
Woods, yeah,
okay.
it was incorporated in that plan.
Okay, okay.
So it
And has
shows
that
it
been
in the plan.
completed? Have theirs been completed back there, anything? They have, okay. Okay,
But
Okay.
we tag team on this.
okay, okay.
Some
Yeah.
of the stormwater projects are actually done in-house,
Yes.
not contracted out.
Okay,
So yeah, we tag
A
team
lot of this
some
back here and in Sea Trail and where else? Kings Trail.
Kings Trail,
Those
Egret.
where we actually are responsible for the stormwater. A lot of those are done in-house
Yeah.
if we can.
So yeah, me and Matt, we tag team on some of this. He's got the guys, and but yeah, work together.
okay. I think my only other question I think of is the fire station too. So the plan is with that land is to bring in dirt from the island or sand, whatever's coming over, try to fill it in. It's marshy or swampy? What is the?
Wetlands.
Would you
It's
clarify?
wetlands. Part of
Not
it's
all
wetlands.
of it. Part of it is. Part of
Okay,
it is not.
Okay,
We're just looking at doing where the part of it is not wetlands.
okay. Is that the part closest to the fire
Firehouse,
station?
yes.
Okay, okay. And then, so to just store stuff there is the current plan?
Yes.
And is there a plan? I know I was told at one point there needed to be more space for everything, bigger buildings. I've heard all kind of stuff. What's the current? Has there been a plan or that land didn't work out? I'm assuming for what to do that, correct?
There was a conceptual plan
Okay.
that was completed for that property. When we found out the cost to mitigate the wetland areas that we needed, we had actually discovered another piece of property that was larger, that had no wetlands on it and was more conducive and closer to town limits, that we have been trying to negotiate on that property ever since.
How large is that parcel at Fire Station 2? How many acres?
4,
It's 4.
4 acres total. And how much of it is wetlands?
2,
So half of it's wetlands.
yes.
And to mitigate that, did you tell us last week it was
350,000.
$350,000 to mitigate it?
How much acreage are we looking at another possible property?
19.
acres.
And you said that was in the center of town or closer?
It's closer to town limits.
I don't want to ask anything that we shouldn't share, but are we in negotiations to purchase the 19 acres?
No, we are not.
Okay. One property owner, two property owners? How many
I think
property
it's
owners?
15.
15 property owners for the 19 acres. Not good odds that we're going to be able to purchase that.
Right. We are still looking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the fire station 2, you're saying $350K to get it up to usable building storage. Is that what we're saying?
If we went with the project of moving the Public Works facility completely onto that property, in addition to building a 2-story building that would house the Emergency Operations Center on the 2nd floor, with lean-tos for all of our equipment to be stored under. We were going to put fuel tanks
Yeah, cool.
out there for gasoline and off-road use for all of our equipment and diesel. What else did that have on it?
Shop.
And the shop, right? A maintenance shop, mechanic shop.
About what was the date of this quote for 350,000? A year, 2 years, 3 years?
It was
Less than a year?
yes, yeah, less than a year.
Less than a year.
Yep.
And that comes from the Corps.
The Corps of Engineers?
Yes.
Mhm.
So any estimates on building this plan or any rough figures?
Well, that's when we decided to, $350,000 just to give away was a lot of money. So we decided to look and see if there was other places that could fit our needs, and then to try to reach out and make contact and see if we were able to find anything else that would be conducive that wouldn't have that $350,000 price tag.
What year did we purchase that extra tract of land?
Todd was there.
Yeah, Todd Rodemacher was here at that point.
22.
21, I can't swear to it. I'd have to pull the deed to let you
Yeah.
know the exact date.
When did the town learn that we had wetlands on that property?
They've known it the whole time.
So we purchased it knowing, the town purchased
Right.
this land knowing that it was wetlands.
Knowing that some of it was, yes.
So nothing's really buildable. Oh, go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
Got a question on the 350,000 original estimate back in 2024. That was including the emergency center. How much of that do you expect? Do you expect an emergency center there if you did it with the backfill from the Majestic Oak to build that type of a complex there? Or are you saying, well, we're just going to put the public works equipment and necessary supplies back there?
We're just going to store equipment on the non-wetland areas until we can exhaust all the measures of trying to locate other land that would serve not only today's purpose, but the future purpose as the town grows, which will require more equipment, more people, more stuff.
No real estimate on what that could cost, even ballpark figures, to build what y'all envision needing out there.
I don't think we got to the point of cost estimates. Do y'all remember? No.
Right.
Does Public Works feel like that's what's needed out there, or should we wait until Public Works speaks?
Well, if
first?
you're finished with Dustin, then we could move on
Yeah.
to Public Works.
Um,
You have any other questions for
One other
Dustin?
thing about Majestic Oaks, talking about moving stuff from there. Are we moving stuff that's just dug up from Catchment 7 that's dumped there, and then we're moving it out? Or are you moving stuff from Majestic Oaks land?
It'd be the dirt. It'd be part of Catchment 7 from the parking spaces, from other projects or other stuff that's been done, that's been brought there. Yeah,
Okay.
You
Just-
talking about
just
the
the
mounds
dirt.
of dirt that's there?
Just
There's several
that-
mounds of dirt. They're
Yeah.
gonna be removed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we're looking at trying to do, is
Okay.
move it out yonder. We've got all this dirt, we got to go somewhere.
There's no issue with moving stuff from the island to
No.
the main, because I've heard so many.
We are
yeah.
exempt from that.
Okay,
State and the federal, either way, like us agencies, or we are exempt from that ordinance. Now, if a person, a resident wants to do it, they cannot. They have to take their dirt somewhere on that. They have to keep it on the island, so they have to.
that's what I've always been
Yep.
told, so.
Yes,
The only land that will be excavated from Majestic Oak will be for the construction, like the
Yeah.
parking lot, the
Right.
entrance road, and those things.
Good to know. I can't think of anything else. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dustin.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. I'm Matt Sorrells, Public Works Director. This is Vicky Todd, Deputy Director of Public Works. What we do on a day-to-day basis, we're checking all the walkways that we have on the beach strand. There's 33 current walkways. We do obviously resetting of the Moby mats, cleaning them off. There's 4 of those. All the beach trash, obviously, that we do every day during the summertime. We're out there. After Labor Day, we usually remove half the trash barrels, but we're still doing trash pickups periodically throughout the week, depending on the volume of traffic out there. Potholes all around town. If we get a decent amount of them, we don't have the equipment to fix them completely. We have to contract them out depending on the size of them. Smaller ones we can do in house. We have asphalt patch that we use. Obviously, the signs that we have around town, cleaning them, replacing them as needed. Stormwater is a big thing that we do with the vac truck and our camera system. And I would like to answer some of your questions about that
Okay.
while I was listening to everything. The plan that we had from 2017, Ms. Bordeaux, had 47 projects on it. Currently, we have 9 left. Doing the work with the vac truck and the camera truck, we have noticed that about 6 of them don't need to be approached right now. They're in good working condition. At the time of the survey in 2017, these were problem areas. And I was not here at that time, but the contractor who came in to do everything, they had a camera and they couldn't get through some of the pipes and things like that. They didn't have a vac truck. First year of this plan, it was recommended to buy a vac truck. We bought one, and we've since cleaned out a lot of problem areas to where we don't need to spend that money on these projects. Now,
Could I ask you to clarify something? You said that there were problem areas that the previous
that
who
the contractor had
identified.
mentioned. Yes, ma'am.
But somehow they're not problem areas anymore because we could look at them more closely to identify that they were no longer problem areas.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So, for example, one perfect example is on North Shore Drive West, single pipe going out to the marsh. It was completely full of sediment, oyster shells, things of that nature. Had never been cleaned out since it had been installed years and years ago. We got the vac truck, were able to suck a lot of that stuff out, clean the system out, and ran the camera through it. And there's no holes in the pipe. Goes straight out to the marsh.
That's
There's
great.
no
Terrific.
need to do
Sure.
any
Okay.
We
repair.
saved the town a lot of money.
that was the whole purpose of this machine. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for clarifying that.
And we're currently, like Dustin said, we do a lot of our maintenance and investigation on the island in the wintertime. Obviously, less traffic. And then on the mainland, we're out there quite often throughout the year, cameraing those as well. But it's been a great asset to the town to save us money and to see what else we may need to do. So some of the projects that we've already seen that may need to be done, and one of my things that I would like to get done is any metal pipe that's in the ground now. I can't stand it. I want it gone, whether it's underneath the roads or not. It's going to cause a problem sooner or later. So I would like to kind of remove all that and put something else in place. So those will be projects that Dustin and I will bring to the table at some point, depending on severity.
Yeah.
Do you have an estimate of the linear footage of those metal pipes throughout the town?
That's a great question. I couldn't give you a straight estimate.
Could you give it an estimate? I mean, how much we're talking about that are metal pipes?
Or if you need to get back to us on that.
I'll definitely have to get back to you,
Sure,
but I
that's
mean,
fine.
if one right off the bat is on from 36th Street down to what's it called, Mad Inlet.
Yeah.
It's almost all metal. Ironically, it's not in that bad of condition, even though it's right there on the island. But that's going to need to be done. That's a state road, so we'll have to get up with them and kind of have an agreement with them. I reached out to them 4 years ago. They came out and said, they can do it. As far as using the equipment, the town would pay for the material, but anything that was damaged in that process, they would not fix, which water lines, driveways, sewer lines, anything like that.
Paid parking, does that pay where paid parking spots are? Is that where that is? That's what I was
It's
worried
right
about.
around there, yes, ma'am.
Exactly, because I know when I've tried to get some maps, even from the county, and it's very interesting where they say they are and where I know even on my property where they actually are.
Right, right.
Some of them are very questionable where they are.
Miss Bordeaux, I would right off the top of my head, 1,000 feet.
Okay.
That's probably
Well,
putting
it's
it
just an
low.
estimate.
It's
So
probably putting it low, but I could survey all that and see exactly how much.
I was just asking in
Yeah.
generality, was it going to be a lot that we're going to be looking at, or
Over time, I guess, back in the 70s and 80s and everything, that was cheapest material to put in.
Mhm.
So there weren't really any kind of conditions that they had to go through, permitting and things of that nature. They just put it in the ground and went with it and kind of forgot about it. But in the future, for citizens and tourists alike, it's just safer, obviously, to upgrade it to concrete or even plastic pipe.
And on the stormwater, I'd ask Dustin, is there, in your opinion, any master list of these things that these areas y'all are evaluating with the cameras or vacuums that you have where you have it prioritized of what, like you said, 6 of the 9 you don't feel like even need to be done now? Do y'all have any sort of spreadsheet of that, tallying that
I have
data?
Yes, ma'am. I have a spreadsheet.
Okay, great.
That every time we go in with the camera or back truck, I have it labeled as maintenance, surveying, which would be cameraing. And every time we go in, I kind of update it, what
Right.
day, the condition of the pipe, and problem areas, things of that nature.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So do you feel like a whole new plan needs to be done with stormwater where we hire an outside company, engineers like was done in the past, or do you feel like that's something in-house y'all
Now-
can handle?
Now that we have the equipment,
Mhm.
I don't see why we can't go through ourselves and find the problem areas. And we would have to, I'm not an engineer.
Right.
So obviously we'd have to get up with a contractor, engineering contractor, and get a better detailed plan of how to fix these areas. But finding them and knowing which ones need to be done, I don't recommend that. at
you
this
can
time.
do the legwork?
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Very
We have the equipment to do it. Might as well use it. Right. That's how I feel.
And each one of these pipes is being put on its individual flash drive, or as we go through, if we do identify problems that need to be corrected, then that information can be provided to the engineer, and that's a cost savings that they don't have to do the initial legwork.
And as
So that's
Miss-
the process they're doing now.
And as Miss Anglin alluded to earlier, we do some in-house work. We don't have a trench box and things of that nature for deeper pipes. We just can't do it. It's very unsafe, and I wouldn't put my guys out there. So some of that stuff we will have to contract, depending on the depth. But we do have the equipment and the personnel during the winter times now. to actually take care of some of these issues.
What about y'all's role with the parking?
What exactly do you mean?
I want to know. I want to know your role because I saw a lot of your guys out there working, and I know.
So our role initially was to install what the council had approved for paid parking this past summer, putting out the bumpers, the rock, all the signs, and we put rebar inside the bumpers and all that. That's kind of our role. We try to maintain it, put the rock in during the winter time. We're gonna refresh the rock that's there now, kind of get the ruts out of it, things of that nature. And then obviously with the new parking on Main Street, keeping that all clear of rock, bike path. that
Have
way.
you captured the amount of time that your staff was out there to set up the parking? And I'm talking about setting up the parking spaces, the gravel, setting up the signs. Do you have an estimate of the time that your staff was out there? Because as citizens saw, you all were out there every day. It seemed like from March, every day you all were out there.
From the end of February, I think, is when we got the go ahead to start installing everything till April
April
7th or
1st,
so.
15th, somewhere in that range.
So it was just about every day. To get concrete hours and everything, I can get back to you about that.
Please
But we
do.
were out there. Yes, ma'am. We were out there just about
Yeah,
every
you
day.
were.
And then
And all of that time was captured with the reimbursement from the amount of money that the taxpayer spent on this project. Every bit of it was.
Yes, ma'am.
Where is that on the website captured? Because there's a different titles of expenditures. We've been asked several times, and I've looked, and I can't find that.
I'll have to get back with you on that. I don't know exactly where it's at. I would assume it's in the parking page or pages, but I don't know.
That's what I'm talking about. On the parking page on the website, it has different expenditure titles. We're not seeing town staff on there. And that's part of an expenditure that the taxpayers had to pay in this parking program. So we want to make sure that that's been backed out of there. So when we say that there was no money in taxpayers used, there was some taxpayer money used to set up, monitor, whatever other activities that you did. And I just want to make sure that that's on the website so it's crystal clear how much public works time was used for this parking project.
Y'all do the spraying as well? The spraying of the areas, or do y'all do that?
Herbicides.
spraying of mosquitoes.
No, the spraying for the
Talking
weeds
about
and the grass
herbicides.
of the
Oh,
plants that
yes,
come
ma'am.
up.
So yeah, sorry. I'm sorry. We do. We have a couple of employees down there that have a pesticide license. We spray the vegetation along the walkways, but we also do the parking areas. Any kind of weeds that come up, we try to get out there as often as we can. We do have. I didn't mention this yet. We have 9 full-time employees. That's including Vicky and myself, the facilities maintenance position, and the environmental services position, which they're not that they're in a department by themselves, but they have their own projects that they need to tend to. So you're looking at 5 full-time employees
Y'all do
to
a lot.
try to maintain whatever we can.
Mr. Searles, in the budget, do you operate from, I was flipping through them, you operate with a lot of these
Yes, ma'am.
departments. It looked like 5 or 6 of them. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you do public infrastructure, the streets, stormwater, environmental protection, and sanitation. I
Yes,
mean, I know that's contracted out, but you're
Right.
still oversee that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Right-of-way maintenance is,
You want to
I
get
didn't
into?
hear
Oh,
you.
okay. Well, no, I did not get into all
Mhm.
that either. Like Miss England said, right-of-way maintenance. We also we actually have a contract with the state to maintain the right-of-way on Sunset Boulevard, Shoreline Drive West, state roads. It's not a great kickback, but there is a maintenance agreement with them. As you all know, state, they would come out 4 to 6 times a year maybe to mow. So this boulevard would look like a hayfield.
Mhm.
So obviously we mow it quite often throughout the year. Again, it pretty much pays for the maintenance on our mowers.
Who cut the, I guess the right of way, the bushes, the shrubs on Shoreline Drive?
West,
Yes, west.
we did.
The town cut
We
that
did do
back.
that, yes, ma'am. Yeah, it was just overgrown. We'd actually some of it was not hanging out into the road, but in the right of way. So we took a sidearm and we kind of laid that down on that side, on the marsh side, waterway side. Yes, ma'am.
Are y'all ever contracted whenever there is an ordinance issue to clear off with your equipment lots or areas?
We don't touch private property.
Okay.
That would be Dustin, as he mentioned earlier,
Okay.
getting up with the homeowners or parcel owners to do that. We mow right in. I mean, you can see
Right.
right beside
I know
your house.
exactly. Y'all do a great job on it.
Thank you.
So when there is an ordinance violation, we have a contracted out vendor that goes onto that property, bush hoggers, mows, whatever needs to be.
I don't know if there's a
Completed.
designated contractor for that, or if the homeowner / parcel owner hires someone. I mean, is there? Because I mean, I know
The
there's
homeowner can hire a contractor of their choosing, or we have a list that we use.
What do we do when the homeowner is not abating that nuisance? Do we do it for them?
For bush hogging, yes, ma'am, and then we charge them.
And is that something that your staff does?
no, ma'am.
No,
Who is that contractor?
there's a list of 8 or 10
That the
that
town,
the town would contract with.
and then we charge back or put a lien on the property if they
Right.
refuse to pay it.
Right.
Drainage easement work. You guys had mentioned about Shoreline Woods and Seaside Station projects. So a lot of the drainage easements that are on the current project list that are done now, we did hire a contractor to go in and do not a clear cutting, but cutting of the overgrowth to where we can maintain it as a town now in-house. All those drainage easements up to date have been cleared, and again, during the summertime, it's a little rough, especially if we get a lot of rain, how quickly it grows back. But we try to get in there as much as we can, open them up. That way the water can flow freely. Obviously, there's tons of mosquitoes anywhere you go. So that stagnant water is never a great case. But we try to get in there and mow that down, open them up.
I'm gonna get with you later on one property that's been discussed in that community, and I have pictures of it as well. That I'll just get with you later on that particular one, if that's okay.
Yes, ma'am. Mosquitoes. We do spray for mosquitoes. It all comes off of complaints, and Miss Kimberly has been so sweet to put a form online now to where folks can just get online and fill out their request for spraying. So it's complaint based. Is when we start. Obviously, if we have bad storms and things of that nature, we know that mosquitoes are going to be bad, so we take it upon ourselves to start the spraying. But a lot of times it starts April, May. Complaints start coming in, and once it kind of hits a threshold, and before you ask what is the threshold, there is no threshold. It's kind of if it's steady in a week, okay, then we need to start spraying.
We used to offer those pucks.
We do.
Still do.
We still do.
Mosquito bricks.
Great.
Yes, ma'am.
And all folks need to do is to come here
They can come to town hall.
and get however many they need.
Yes, ma'am.
I think we limit it to 4
4.
a time.
Question. Town comes through and sprays. Usually starts sometime in August. It sprays every morning because they come by my house at 5:15, wake me up. No, I'm kidding. I'm up at 5, so I see them come by. Who initiates that cycle from, let's say, early August all the way through? And it changes based on the amount of rain we have.
It does. Yeah. I mean, I've been here for 7 years now, so I've started as early as April. There's been some years that I didn't have to start until August, spring. Our department initiates that.
You're not in the, behind the wheel of the truck, are you?
Occasionally. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The town is broke up into 5 zones for mosquito spraying, and then I think it was either this year or last year that they also started spraying some at night because they were so bad.
It all depends on the severity of them and, of course, the complaints. If we need to get out there twice a day, that's what we do. Dawn and dusk is when they're most active, because I don't believe anyone wants us to be spraying at 11 o'clock in the morning. There are chemicals for that, but you're going to get a lot of complaints on your end if we start doing that.
There's one easement that we are currently having surveyed that Matt didn't talk about, is the 30-foot easement that's back here. You'll have to help me with where it's at.
It's behind. It's actually off of Azalea Circle and Magnolia. It's in between there. There's a 30-foot buffer that it's a little overgrown, but it is ours. It would have to take most likely have to take a contractor to get in there. It's some bigger trees. Trees, bushes. There's not trees that we would need to take down, but it's just a lot of overgrowth that would have to be cut down to where it's maintainable for us.
How long's that been overgrown?
Forever.
50 years.
Yep.
So
It's
it
deep
been-
and wide.
The ditch itself is open. The ditch itself, where the water flows, is open. We maintain that. It's just there's a buffer on top of the ditch outside of that needs to be.
So has that been estimated with a contractor what it would take to do it or budgeted?
I've talked with one a while ago, and it was right at $2,000.
$2,000.
Yes,
Okay.
At this
Did
stage,
that-
we're just getting it surveyed to identify exactly where our easement is, and then we can get a better picture on what the problem areas are and what we need to look at and break it up into different phases.
We also help with every town event, set up, break down cones, barricades, any extra signs, any special event, Memorial Day, 9/11, Veterans Day, plausibility, any event that happens with the town, whether it's at the town park or on the island, the races that we have here. I think there was just a 3-bridge race. Of course, the Run Sunsets in April, I think, every year. So we kind of help with them as well. Of course, Sunset at Sunset is a big one for all of us. So we do all that as well. Any community center events that happen, making sure that that's clean and set up properly for whoever's in there. Tables for events like this. So we're in all that as well. Our hands are kind of in everything.
So when there are community events, let's say, for example, a race, that's someone else is sponsoring it, the town's not, does the town receive anything for the services provided for that, for the
Yes.
staffing? Okay. How is that billed to the,
It's all outlined in the fee schedule
okay.
as to what those charges are.
It's based on the number of people that are going to be a part of the event. So the larger your event, the larger the cost.
Okay.
You have anything else for Public Works?
Hey, Matt, what's the status of your trash truck that you have on order?
Status is that it's on order.
Okay.
We don't have a definitive delivery date. We're estimating February, hopefully. That way we can get out there and actually utilize it and get training with it.
Is this the pack and go,
The load and pack.
load and pack? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. It is.
And I think we heard something about some sort of bases would have to be built on the beach
Oh,
to
Platforms.
operate it, or platforms. I
So
didn't
very-
really understand how that's. I
correct.
need explanation on that.
Okay.
Didn't understand how that was going to work.
Absolutely. So right now our barrels, most of our 4x4 posts have 2 barrels on them during the year.
Right.
They are parallel with the ocean. What we would do to utilize the equipment better is to turn them 180 to where we can access them easier
Hmm.
instead of having to go down one side of the beach and then come back on one side to do the other side. So what we would do is switch it. It's an articulate machine, so it'll scoot very easily, matter of feet, to get both barrels and then go on to the next one. Now, the platforms, I guess, that you're referring to, what we would do is set the trash cans on the ground, utilizing the 4x4 post that's there now. Okay, you're gonna put a barrier around them. That's it. Piece of 2x6 wood, to where they're just sitting in there. They're not freestanding. Where if there is wind, even a tide that gets high enough for that, it wouldn't tip it over.
The tides was what was my big
Right.
concern, is how that was going to work if it was on the ground. It's the
It
fluctuates.
yeah, I mean, that would be something. We look at the tides anyway, whether there's a king tide or a full moon, things of that nature, to see how high the tide would possibly get. And we look at the day before how high the high tide got,
Mhm.
and at that point we would make a determination if we need to remove them.
So they're going to be flush on the sand. Okay. the wood.
How many trash barrels do we have?
102. The entire length of the
Right.
not the entire length of the island. That's the entire length that we service. It's 102 barrels.
I was told at one point that this trash truck would reduce your labor, not being 2 employees to do trash and save backs.
Yep.
But then I heard that it's still 2 employees,
Right. It's still 2
so it'll
employees.
save backs.
This is a single cab. This is a single cab machine. One person can get in there and move the machine. The issue comes with canopies that may be damaged by whoever, chairs that are sitting out there, umbrellas that are sitting out there. Obviously, we do have a hole at the bottom of our trash cans that allow water and things like that to get out. That way, they're not 4,000 pounds to pick up. Dog bags are one huge thing that sometimes slips through the crack and they're on the ground. So we're still going to have someone. Now it's going to, I believe once we get trained on this and utilize it like high efficiency, that it'll reduce the time that we're out there for sure.
Okay.
Is this
And
the piece of equipment that we have to be certified in?
No,
Or
ma'am.
anybody can use this?
any
As long as you've trained them.
technically anybody
Right.
could use it. Yes.
Right,
ma'am.
as long as you've trained them.
Yes. Yeah.
So the big truck that normally goes out and collects like the chair in
The
the high
tractor and the
season,
trailer
yeah,
that we have.
will that still be utilized with this? So that'll be no longer needed. Okay.
We'll use it for like obviously what we do a lot with it's a dump trailer that we use
Right.
pulled by a tractor. What we can do with that, and we would keep that, is for mulch, rock, things of that nature that we need for different areas. The rain garden out here to redo mulch, plant retraction, things like that.
Where will this load and go? Where will it be stored?
At our public works facility indoors.
Inside.
Yes, ma'am. And we will be doing any preventative maintenance that there is. Now it does come with a warranty and a maintenance schedule. The Roy Hill is the company that builds it. They have given us different years and how often they would come out for maintenance, full maintenance, but preventative maintenance we can do in-house. So we do the same thing with our vehicles and our other equipment that we have.
Is that fully paid for already?
No, ma'am. I believe so.
Cost? Is it budgeted?
It was.
Okay, great.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it 250 or is that
It was 250 originally.
And then you did a
It was-
budget amendment for 12.
That's right. That's right. I
500
remember
for
that
the
now.
Right.
mechanical arm.
It's it essentially it's a self-dumping machine now. What they had quoted us for, and on me for not catching it, but what they had quoted us for was it would drop it off the ground, and then we would have to pick it up and dump it, which doesn't make any sense. So now what we're able to do is back up to our dumpster at the shop and actually dump it, and then head back out if we absolutely have to. Which with this equipment, we should only be able to do one trash run completely, get off the aisle.
Mr. Arnold had asked about the timeline, and you had said that we don't know the status yet. But
Right.
can you give an
It's-
estimate of, will it be ready for this upcoming beach season?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. It should. When we first started the negotiations with this company, it was a 6-month build out. We ordered it September, I believe it was. So you're looking at late March, late February, early March. Should be in here, where we have at least a good 2 months before the busy season starts to get out there every day and train on it.
Do you feel like your staffing's adequate for what y'all do? Because y'all do a lot on it. What was your?
I obviously I think anyone could probably say that they may need more people. It kind of all depends. I think right now we do have one vacancy currently that we're looking to fill, which would be the 5 full-time employees. We currently have 4 right now, but that one is in the budget. It's part of the budget already that we're looking to.
Was that an
Fill.
additional position, or is that somebody left and now it's vacated?
It's vacated. Someone had, yes, ma'am.
Is that posted?
I think so. Is it?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
And at budget
So-
time, each department head will come to you all and justify any additional personnel that they're requesting.
And y'all
I mean,
definitely
there's-
took a lot of extra work this year with the parking. So y'all did it.
Right.
That was, y'all absorbed a lot.
And I
doing
mean,
that.
Majestico is going to be coming online in the next couple months. Hopefully, in the next year or so, it'll be completely built. So, not that we'd have a ton to do out there, but I think that's just another
that's to
that's just another
maintain.
area that we have to maintain. Obviously, the walkways to keep them safe for everyone. It's just
And does your group also do the restrooms, all that?
we do.
That's what I thought you did.
Were you over the town parking lot at Town Park? Was that something that who was over that?
Project manager. I was not involved. You're talking about the new between the park and Dave's.
Right. Okay. You have a hand in that at all?
No, ma'am. No. The only thing we've done in our department is put up 4 handicap signs. that are there. Code compliance. Should I talk about that?
Yeah, I made them aware last week that we were moving the program back from the police department to the public works department as beach ambassadors. And as we get that, when the 4 of us meet and figure out exactly what that's going to look like, we'll bring you all into the fold.
That's something y'all were for.
I think so. Yes, ma'am. I mean, obviously, it's more work. Now, we wouldn't be using our full-time employees for that. This
Be
would
seasonal.
it would be seasonal part-time employees.
Okay.
And I mean, I think it's a great thing to do with the tourists and everything. You know, have a good time with them and talk to them and get to see where they're from and things of that nature and just make them welcome. That's our goal behind it.
Well, and letting them know what the rules are, right?
Correct.
Yeah, nicely.
Correct. As nice as we can, yes.
As police and fire, are y'all happy or are y'all supportive of that moving to public works from y'all's areas, the parts y'all do, or not?
Well, the police will still be involved. They'll still
Right,
be on the
I know you
island,
would be if
and
you're
then they'll
called,
be
right, but
on the
they-
beach a couple of times a day, just to make their presence known. And then fires out there all the time, but from the beach rescue aspect of it.
Nothing changes for us.
Okay,
We're not doing the code enforcement side of things, so that's police or whether that's police or public.
but it does fall under police currently.
Mm.
correct?
It does.
Okay.
And the change that's going to be made, if there's a less emphasis on compliance, then I think it would be very successful. If the same amount of emphasis is placed on compliance, then we're going to be right back where we were when the fire department had it, because we had civilians doing an enforcement role, which I guess was not comfortable. So if there's a similar emphasis on compliance, we're going to be out there more than a couple times a day. If they're mainly ambassadors and they're going to be, which our people were instructed to do the same thing, to be a friendly face, not to be, kind of hiding in the weeds waiting for violations. But there was such an emphasis on compliance, and that was directed by town council, as I'm sure you're aware. I think there needs to be a lot of conversation about what this is going to look like, and we're just scratching the surface with it. So I don't have any doubt that Matt and Vicky can supervise the program well, and that it will be successful. It's just what's it going to look like?
Would you
Questions are
prefer
still
to keep
unanswered.
it in police department area?
I don't know that I would say I would prefer to keep.
Okay.
I think anybody that's had it, and again, I mean, if there was such an emphasis from town council to say, this is how you're going to do it. I had recommendations on what I thought it should look like, but it was still, well, we understand what you're saying, chief, but here's what you're going to do. So I don't know. I don't want to say I would.
understand.
I'll do whatever I'm told, and we did just that.
Can I say something to that?
sure.
You two are the experts in public safety, and you are the expert in operations. We need to lean on you all. And so we would encourage you all to give us your best information so that we can make a better informed decision, because it is about a customer service product to our citizens, and it is about a safety issue. And as you know, a town, our role is to make sure that our citizens are kept safe. So I don't know that I'm equipped to make those decisions without your input and your very candid input to us so that we can make the appropriate decision to keep our community safe.
I definitely
So we
think
look
we
forward
need
to
your
that.
input.
Yeah, we
or
look
your
forward to that
thoughts
discussion.
on it.
Yeah, I think, and again, we haven't had a real in-depth conversation of what it's going to look like under Public Works. I don't see why any department couldn't handle it. Because even when we had the compliance personnel, they were civilians that were asking for compliance. They weren't in charge of enforcement at all. And my stance since I came to the town in 2017 is I prefer education over enforcement. And it's not a friendly look to go out and just start passing out $50 citations every time somebody has a glass bottle. Numbers are something that council were curious about every season after the beach patrol. Well, how many tickets did you write? Well, that's not the way to fix the problem. We're getting new people every 7 days. So we educate for 6 days. By the 7th day, they got it, and then they leave, and then we start all over. And again, I don't anticipate that we would be out there excessively under Public Works' authority or their supervision rather of the beach. But if there's more of an emphasis on enforcement, then yeah, we're probably going to be out there a lot.
Who is over Cabanas and the Shabumis and that sort of thing? Is that something that would be
That would then fall under Matt.
Would be
If
okay?
Code compliance, yes, ma'am.
And the dunes, who has the legal authority to ensure that things on the dunes
the same people.
Okay.
Yeah, enforcement falls under the police department. So again, if it's compliance, that would be Matt's department if they take over the beach or when they take over the beach patrol. And if they can't gain compliance, then they call us for enforcement.
There any other vendors other than the Cabanas, the Shibumis that are out there? Any other vendors that we have?
Are you asking, are there any?
Yes.
I don't believe so, no, ma'am.
Okay.
We don't have any
We only allow
food or
the
anything like
cabanas,
that. So
cabana vendors, and there's 5 of them
Okay.
that are allowed to put up. We don't have Shibumi vendors or any other vendors
Okay.
allowed on the beach strand at all.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that.
What do they have to do to become a vendor? Is that, do they pay a fee? Is it a permit?
They have to fill out an application, pay a fee, provide us with their general liability insurance information, and we provide them with a permit.
Yearly? Is that
Yep,
yearly?
and
Okay.
it's all done, right? Yeah, they're all done.
They're all completed for the upcoming season.
Yep.
Is this the same information that you gave to the candidates on September the 10th? And it was anything that was omitted today that we need to know about?
no, ma'am. I think it's actually more in depth. Than what we had talked about then.
Okay.
I know I mentioned a lot more stuff today than I did the other day. So
As did Dustin. Yeah, you all have received a lot
uh,
more information
I think
from
you
these
guys
2
had
departments
more
than the candidates
questions,
did.
which we were able to answer them a little bit more in depth.
Super.
We did not
Thank
talk
you.
to them about beach compliance because
No, we
was a
did not.
decision
That
that was
wasn't a decision
made
that's
after
true.
that event.
Okay.
My apologies. We did not talk about that.
Thank you very much,
Have anything,
Mr.
Vicki?
Sorrells.
I just help Matt behind the scenes. Anything that he needs, I do the work orders. I talk with residents, answer emails, and I work with every department here with issues that they have with their buildings and try to get that fixed. But I'm just pretty much a behind the scenes kind of person.
Do y'all have like a workflow tracking where your requests come in, or does it, how do y'all receive them?
So we have an iWork system that if a resident calls in with like a pothole or any issue, I create that work order and assign it to one of our employees. They can also email me, and we have TextMyGov that I get quite a few responses on, and that's our way we track them.
You'll like the text.gov. Is that the one y'all get 24/7? Is that the one I
Yes,
think you had
ma'am.
mentioned?
Yes, ma'am. We get that one 24/7.
What do
other-
y'all typically get on that? I mean, is it?
So we used to get a lot of with the restrooms and stuff, but since that's been bought in-house, that's kind of cut down. Every once in a while, I'll get something with about like a house, the grass needs to be cut or something like that. I get potholes, mosquito requests do come in on that also. And that's pretty much the majority. Sometimes people just like text in and like I'll go on the website and give them the information that they need, but that's pretty much it.
You stated the iWork system.
Yes, ma'am.
Could you share with us what that is?
So it is a work order system. You can go in and create schedules. So like for the drainage easements, we can go in and create, go in them monthly, and it'll send us a reminder. Or if someone calls for a beach access with a board that's messed up, I go in there and physically create that work order, put the description, the issue, and assign it.
That's something you all do in-house?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the one for the public is the TextMyGov?
Yes, ma'am.
That's on the website?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, but when we get those complaints in, she puts them through iWorks for our employees to fix.
I think y'all have signs up, some
We do.
signs with the
We have them
texting
at
by the
the
gazebo. on there. I've
restrooms by the
seen them, yeah.
gazebo and at the town park and the handicap beach access.
Well, thank y'all for all y'all do.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Thank y'all.
Go outside for a minute.
And you're welcome to stay or you're welcome to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
I'm going to go to Kerry next. He is our chief building inspector. His name is Kerry White, and he'll fill you in about his department. And then him and I together are going to tag team our planning contractor.
My name is Kerry. Is it on right here? It is on. Okay. My name's Kerry White. I've been employed with the town since 2016. I am the chief building inspector. We have I have 3 employees, full-time employees, 2 field inspectors and 1 permit tech. I also have 1 vacancy in a department that's been vacant for like 2 years now, and then I have a part-time position that is vacant as well. Those have been in the budget, built in the budget, so they've been carrying over. Just hadn't needed any need for them right now. As far as looking in the future here shortly, in the near future, I'm looking at doing a part-time, bringing on the part-time building inspector to help out with the hotel coming in and a lot of the projects over in Sea Trail. So I think it'll warrant to bring someone in now for that, and then we'll look a little later on, if needed, on the full-time position of filling it. I also, with the town, I also handle all the CAMA that comes in. That LPO position, which it used to be with the town, is now moved back over to the state. And but I also have to issue those permits, everything dealing with CAMA, from bulkheads and those reviews to anything that's within our coast, anything on the intercoastal and on the island as well. Floodplain, I also handle the floodplain administrator part as well. As far as I have to do all the reviews for the elevation certificates that come in, make sure everything remains out of the flood zone when it's built, being constructed. I'm also part of the CRS program with the FEMA as well, to make sure, as far as the audit, to see the audits are followed through and all those elevation certificates correct, in order to keep our insurance down for our folks who have flood insurance. Building wise, I do all the plan reviews that come in for the building, and that being building plans, whether it be commercial, whether it be docks, bulkheads, everything that relates to a permit, anything that we issue a permit for, I lay my eyes on it for building plan review. Also handle the actual site plans review. Yeah, that kind of works hand in hand with the planning department, as far as some of the UDO requirements, just to make sure nothing gets missed with our height requirements. Our fill and grade is a hot thing always, because of stormwater. So I try to actually take a look at that sort of stuff to make sure that we don't miss something, even, on the planning side as well, when folks are trying to build and change elevations.
Did you call that field and grading?
Fill and grade.
Field and grade.
Yeah. See. Like I mentioned, I do all the actual surveys, which is a combination of the minor site plans and making sure they're zoning wise. We kind of work hand in hand with the zone, with the UDO, with the planner, just to make sure, ensure those setbacks and folks are building within their setbacks, and not building over.
And Kerry, you're talking about Ron and that when you're saying the
Yes, I
plan.
am.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Ron, and I think Lisa kind of
Yeah.
in on that as well. But we work closely with him, and he relies on us a lot too. So just to make sure that everything, in our UDO is carried through like it should be. We're busy. We're a busy department, no doubt. I sent out a weekly report to Lisa, and then also, as you see in your council agendas, what we do and how much we do. We try to we capture everything, our like routine and daily inspections, COs that's been issued, and actual the revenue as well. Speaking of the revenue, like our department under the Senate Bill 166 that was put in place back in 2023. Basically, all the funds that come in for building inspection fees are for our department and basically supports our department. And we are fully supported under building inspection fees. We have no need of tax dollars for our department to keep it operating. So we're pretty fortunate in that aspect of it. That's from vehicles to salaries to keeping the lights on. So and when I get asked, and I'm sure I'll be asked again coming up budget about our fees, and our fees that we have now are actually still in line with other beach towns' fees. So there's no need of increasing our fees, and which is always a good thing. Yes, sir.
Question, you're not talking only about inspection of the town, of the properties within the town limits, also some of the
ETJ, yes, sir. Yeah, all ETJ we issue permits for and perform inspections as well, just like if we were in the town limits.
In your budget, you have contract services. Who would that be?
That would be, see, how much is that?
Well, just for you, it's 26,000. But overall, for that Anchor Point, which was before that was whoever it was with, I think was 170,000 in the budget. So I guess of the 170,000, 26,000 is yours to interface with Mr.
Some of that is
Satterfield.
also our,
Right. So
yeah,
that's our
permitting
software.
software is iWork as well. So a portion of that is about $10,000 or $12,000 is iWork. And I'm not sure.
That would be a Tara question.
Yeah, I'd
And
have
when
to
you
go
all
back
meet
and
with
look.
her,
I'm
she'll
sorry.
be able to give you all that.
We can certainly get you the information. I just can't remember right off.
But off the top of your head, it's just two people that or two entities that we're contracting out with. The planner and then
Yes.
the iWork.
Right.
iWorks.
That's right. iWork would be half. You said it's 26,000.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Close to half of that would be our permitting software.
Okay.
Just
Then
don't know if,
in there you have professional services as well. What would that be?
what's the
1,800.
1,800 professional services.
That again would be a Tara question.
Okay.
Some of the things are automatically divided up amongst all the departments, like insurance and cell phones and stuff of that nature.
And some of the actual contract could be some of in focus.
Yes.
So some of that could be that. Just thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we don't have a whole lot of contract services for us.
But about 13,000 is the iWorks. roughly.
Somewhere close to
Okay.
it. I don't know exactly, but we'll have all those numbers obviously when we go before
Right.
you all during the budget process.
Where are you housed?
Uh,
Or your staff, you and your house, where are y'all housed?
Here. They're
In
here.
this
Yeah,
building,
yes,
in town
yes.
hall? Okay.
Now you're losing your, is leaving.
yes,
correct?
yes. We'll be leaving sometime we think around June. And so we're in the process now of getting ready to fill that position shortly. Can train them basically.
That's just was posted in the Brunswick Beacon, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We've got it posted in a
Wow.
A lot of places.
That's a loss because I know you helped out a lot.
Yeah, in the glue over there.
Yes.
And so yes, it's going to take me some getting adjusted to for quite a while, I'm sure. But yes, it's going to stay until June until we get somebody. Hopefully, get them trained good enough where.
I'm presuming he's retiring.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what's going out on. She's taking early retirement.
Early retirement. Oh,
I guess you could say early retirement.
sure would be like to retain.
Yeah. Well, I've done a lot of talking.
Keep
Uh,
talking.
Yeah, still not quite that color in the face yet, but
That's
yeah,
cute.
it's about every day. But anyway, been real good for us, so it really has.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I know he's well respected in the community.
Has a lot of knowledge of, especially our side, our department, so it's going to be hard to replace that. Definitely. But that's pretty much, other than the planning side of it. But like I said, we work hand in hand, and we do a lot of we handle a lot of complaints, obviously, and but we try to keep them there, and so they don't get out, and make everybody happy, if we can.
Sure, that's a challenge.
It's tough. It's tough. I'm not gonna lie.
One question about the, I guess I would say pre-planning of builds, with parking on the island now, the right of way, 20 foot or 10 and 10 based on the duplex type of situation. Is there any proactiveness, do you feel like that could be done when new builds come in to make it clear designating that footage so that things are built, for example, gas lines aren't put underground or where underneath access to homes are?
When you say footage, are you talking about the actual driveway itself?
The driveway itself.
That is looked at. We actually established a NRI work system, and Dustin reviews that. So we don't issue a permit out without him looking at the actual driveway delineation itself with the footages. So we put that in place last year. Okay. And so actually even everything that comes in since last June is on the actual survey itself from the surveyor. So we don't allow any. That's right. And so they're all delineated, and so we don't issue anything until we've got his approval in the system. So they're all being looked at, and that's the mainland as well.
Well, good. Yeah, that was going to be my next question.
Because we actually do.
Because that is the ordinance for
right.
The whole
and so
thing.
what we started doing is we started doing driveway inspections in the system. Instead of just someone just calling Dustin up and say, hey, can you come look at this driveway? And then a lot of times it's already poured, So now we do it, they schedule it when we assign the building permit number, they schedule the inspection to do a pre-pour and to do a final. And so we don't issue a CO for anything until he goes and does his inspection and signs off on it. So that way we're tracking everything that comes through.
Do you ever have to assess penalties?
We do.
And I don't notice that on the budget that was approved. So is it minuscule or? Most of it. Yeah. Yes. And I wish I didn't realize we're going to, I guess I should have brought my budget in here. Most of that is, those penalties, if it's the ones I'm thinking about, would be stop work orders and things of that nature. Those are most of our penalties in our department. So it's not a financial, monetary? No whatsoever. Okay.
And when you said Dustin does the final sign off
on the
driveways,
yes, ma'am.
The pieces that Dustin does of the code, I guess, enforcement stuff,
right.
Versus what y'all do you feel like that's a good delineation of the responsibilities of that, or is that something you feel would be better suited in building?
Well, that's actually zoning.
Okay.
So, and that's picked up out of the UDO. So we're talking two different things. Like I say, because there's just like the setbacks are zoning, there's just landscaping zoning. So even though it all pulls into the building itself, but it's, all those are actually totally separate.
Okay.
Which are, like I say, is always captured,
okay.
Regardless, because we all have signatures, in the system, and without one, everything stops. You know, so that's how we make sure that we do capture everything.
All of this is computerized.
Every bit
Excuse
of it
me.
is.
You're fine.
All of it, all is.
So that's
computerized.
all in iWorks,
Every single bit of it.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I implemented it back when COVID, because we were scrambling, and we went ahead and bit the bullet, and because we had to do something, and went with it, and it was a learning curve, and obviously it took us quite a while because of trying to be trained on something when someone's an hour. And so it took us a while, but we finally got everything built. I revamped all the application process, things were missing, and just put it all together. So now we got it. It's really become walk-in traffic here. We went from 25 a day to like 2 a day, as far as walk-in traffic.
Oh, that's good.
So it's a little more challenging for homeowners, and that's why we're here, and we help them through the process when they like to get their own permit, as far as that goes. But it does make things life a lot easier for contractors as well, because I was looking after them as well as far as scheduling and things of that nature, and being able to pull up their information and see it without having to call and and email something. It's at their hand at any given time with their cell phone or whatever, so it works well.
And Lisa, that iWorks, is that something across the board that the town has a software license to use for all employees, or how is that?
No, it's just Public Works and Building Inspection right now that use the iWorks
And-
system.
Chief, we're up there.
Oh, you're on it too. That's right.
They just got on.
Are you on it? Okay.
And they don't think they offer any modules for police.
For police.
And they just added the fire like last year. So, but they've always just been building inspections. And then they went to Public Works, and like I said, they're kind of limited on what they can, and I think they're kind of limited on you guys too. But I think eventually they'll get there. But
It's a
yes.
module-based software company that, we purchase the individual modules for the departments. And administration and finance, we use Black Mountain software for the accounting payroll.
Is there information that was shared at the September 10th event that was not shared here today?
I can't even remember last week. What was September? What was the 10th?
When you met with the candidates, we just want to make sure that we've been given all the information that they were given.
Probably gave you more.
Yeah, in addition, you're getting more information today than the candidates were given.
Very good.
Yeah, and if I didn't, I do apologize, and we'll get it to you, no doubt.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
White.
you.
Okay, I appreciate it.
We do
Thank
too.
you.
And then as far as the planner, if you'll just hang around in
Okay,
case
sure.
they have any planning, we have a contract planner, which you all are aware of, named Ron Satterfield. He works for Anchor Point Planning. He is a retired planner with the state with over 30 years in. Excuse me. He comes to town every Thursday and handles the planning board and the board of adjustment. He meets with citizens. He meets with contractors. He meets with developers by in person, Zoom, email, phone calls. He is under the 1,000 rule limit with the state retirement system. So we, track that heavily with him. It has worked well. We have not missed a beat without a full-time planner in this office. We do not have a lot of major developments still to come. There's not a lot of land mass left to be developed that has not already been approved at some level. Like with Riptide and Logan Homes, both of those conditional zonings have been approved, and that outlines what those developments will look like. So there wasn't any additional planning that was needed with those developments. And then everything else pretty much is single family lots. So that's why I made the recommendation to the town council to save money by going to a contract service. Last month, the Anchor Point contract was selected for the land use plan, and that kickoff will be done in December. Wes McLeod will head that up. Wes McLeod has worked with the town for over the 15 years that I've been here, and a few more before that. So he has a lot of history with the town, and that $67,000 for the land use plan was budgeted is in this current budget. And that's
I
how-
understand the 1,000-hour rule.
Yeah.
If he works less than that, they still get the some amount of what was agreed upon.
He is they are under contract with us for his services, and I can guarantee you he is working longer than he's billing us for.
Yeah, he does not. Yeah.
Yeah,
He works.
And the over
Mhm.
1,000, if he were to identify that there's more work, then there's another individual that would take over
Wes.
Wes.
Okay. And Wes has not retired from the state, so he is not under that obligation.
And it looks like we're paying $135,000 for that service.
I'll
In the
have to get back
proposed
with you when I get you that contract.
Okay.
It's been we start budget in January and go through the budget process, and then the council adopts the budget in June.
Mhm.
It's been a long time since June.
Well, I'm looking at it. It looks like proposed fiscal year 25-26 budget's $135,000,
Okay.
which is an increase of $70,000.
That's the land use plan.
Okay.
When I look at the professional services agreement we were given last week, I don't see, is there a separate contract in that?
Yes.
Part of the reason it looks like there's a big I'm wondering if part of the reason it doesn't look like a larger increase for this year versus the prior year is the prior year, our director of planning had left, and we had a vacancy for, 6 months or 8 months? And so therefore the salary was not part of that 2023, 24, 25 cycle, whereas now we've got it in.
Right.
So when we did have an in-house full-time planner, we paid, which year was that when we had it in-house?
22, 23, I think would have been a full
Yeah,
year.
because we paid 61,000 in by the budget, so we've kind of.
No, that's not correct. That
Okay,
wouldn't even have
that's what it's
covered the
showing.
salary.
See right there.
What's in the salary
99.
on 2023 was 88,000.
Okay.
The year before that, it was 99,000.
Okay,
The
yeah,
year
okay.
before that, it was 90. Year before that, it was 77. What year did we go with the Council of Governments? When did I'm not sure how to last name. I know when did he leave?
March.
I was still here, so it must have been, I was on
Mm-hmm.
24 before the budget got approved right before this.
So in 23, 24, with pensions, healthcare, everything, it was 117,354. The salary of 88,000.
Then on this budget, we also have professional services. And looks like it was 135 for that. So we went from 117 to 135.
Plus the 67.
Those are questions you're going to have to wait for Tara
Yeah.
to answer.
Yeah. But was there I guess outsourcing it increased our costs, it seems.
No.
Well, if we had a full-time person, my thought process is instead of somebody being here 1 day a week, they'd be here 5 days a week.
And we went from 117,000 to 135,000.
Have to look,
We're
Yeah,
looking
I'll
at,
have to pull the
Um,
detail.
I'd have to go
Of
back
that.
to the budgets. I have it.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
I have it
me
all
too.
written down.
Okay.
And Tara will be able to answer those questions for you.
Just looking at outsourcing versus not, where it's beneficial versus. So his work hours per week are just one day. Is that a full time a day typically? I mean, if he was
He's
the
here
meetings.
for 8 hours. He's here one day a week, and then
works
he's
from-
available.
Yeah, he works remote the rest of the time.
Okay, so he's working the
Oh,
week.
absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
he's
okay.
reviewing
What it's, okay,
all- yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So
He
he's
just
like 40
finds
hours a
stuff here.
week.
in this building, where is he located?
He's located in the
He's in the
uh,
office.
with
field
you.
inspection department.
Yes, ma'am.
One question, when, not only, it's a case of when we have anything like when we went through with the Riptide or Logan, it's not just one day a week, because they were several meetings, 3 times a week, 4 times a week, 8 hours a day. So you've got to add that all up and you add it. Okay.
So in theory, by his hours limitation of 1,000 rule, he would be part-time
Yes.
based on that. But for that amount we're paying the company, Anchor Point, if more is needed than he can fulfill in his 1,000 hours, Wes will do it, and there's no additional fee to us as a town.
Yes.
So in theory, we are getting part-time to
You're getting 2
full-time.
people
Okay.
for 1.
And is Wes doing very much for us under the contract, or is it typically Ron doing it?
Most of the time it's Ron,
Okay.
but, you know, from time to time, if like Ron's out, he was out during surgery. He had a couple of things. He was
Right.
out for a while,
Right.
and so Wes filled in.
Okay.
He took care of everything.
So not including public safety, the typical hours in the year, excuse me, is 2080. So we're getting half, that's
Right,
where you're
that's
getting
what I
to.
did the figures.
So it's usually 2080,
Right.
and
right.
now we're getting 1,000 hours.
Right.
So he is in part-time status, so we're getting part-time, even though we have another individual, but we're paying part-time money for what we were contributing to a salary for a full-time person here that was here every single day, that could interface with the community every single day. Very good point, Ms. Batchelor.
And then Wes is being the contract for 67,000 for the land use plan. Did that need to go with Wes due to Ron's limited hours? Was that the reason for that? I mean, it
No,
went to
they're
Anchor Point.
they're under contract
Okay.
to the town. It's
Right.
up to them to keep up with the 1,000 hours. That's on Ron and West. That's not on the town. We are under contract with them to provide a planning service. And at whatever point that Ron would exhaust his 1,000 hours, then Wes would step in. Wes is copied on everything. Just Ron is the initial pivot person right now. If he reached that 1,000 hours in November,
We wouldn't know it.
then we wouldn't know it. It would be Wes coming and saying that it'll be, he'll be the one that'll work with us for the rest of the year. But yet Wes is involved on the back burner the entire year as he keeps up with the town and the town requirements of what's going on.
And I guess what was said about the land use plan, what I wrote down, and maybe I wrote it down incorrectly, was that Wes McLeod would be the one doing that.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
So if we had a full-time planner, that responsibility could interface with their normal duties, as most towns handle that.
It depends on how educated that planner was.
And we would hire somebody educated.
I would hope.
Okay. Because that seems like we would not hire somebody if they were not educated in their chosen profession.
Well, the land use plan isn't something that's done every year or in a
Right.
normal cycle of their work. So it could be out of their scope.
And Carrie, in your opinion, if we had an in-house planner
Mhm.
here, let's say that worked 2,000 full-time, not part-time, is that something that would alleviate or assist your department or not?
Not so much us,
Okay.
it would.
Okay.
Like I said, there's two different two different animals, so to speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
But could they help with Dustin's area of code enforcement type of things?
Very limited because it's only just a certain part of the zoning
Okay.
aspect of it. I think like with Dustin,
Okay.
it's taken care of. That's
Okay.
not a whole lot.
Okay. What about the in focus piece? What's contracted out there? Is that something?
That's
Right.
still
Municipal
general
code.
reg.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's not UDO
Thank
at all.
you.
Have any other questions for Carrie?
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
White.
you.
Okay, thank y'all.
All right. So at this point, it's the luck of the draw. Who wants to go next?
I'm happy to go.
It's their shoulders.
We're talking to both microphones. Hi, I'm Amy Goodrich. I'm the events coordinator for the town. I've been here for just about 2 years. My position was new when I started. We didn't have an events planner for the town. I coordinate all aspects of all of the town events, from coming up with the ideas to finding the vendors for any sort of event where we'd have food vendors or artists present. I take care of the advertising, so I might be making banners or putting ads out, sending out press releases, going on radio programs to talk about events and to publicize those events. I also book all of the parking with the local businesses and staff the parking and hire the parking people for those events. I do the day of coordination, create the timelines, and distribute the information to all of the different departments. If there's volunteers needed, I'm recruiting the volunteers. Also coordinating with any county departments, such as the health department, when we have vendors that will require additional permitting or they need to come and if someone has a temporary permit for a day, as some vendors do at Sunset, the Department of Health for the county will come out and do an inspection day of. And so I could be also making sure we have enough trash barrels and ordering additional trash barrels or wastewater distribution, booking any sort of additional vendors we would need, such as Christmas lights or kind of anything along those lines. I also handle the market. So every week for the market, because we have different vendors each week, there's a different map that needs to be made and communication with those vendors on a weekly basis throughout the 25 markets that we have each year. And I also book the events at the community center and at Town Park for any private individuals that would be coming in. Kind of based on what the size of those events are, kind of determines how much I'm there. For the larger events, such as Strawberry and Wine, or Run Sunset Beach, or Bandfest Possibility, for those events, I'm there the whole time, and I help them. They have a lot of the same vendors I do, so in some instances, I'm helping them assign the vendors to their different spots that we have. And also I assist with getting the vendors parking at offsite locations, the satellites, usually the community center. And I am the Uber for them. So I'm driving the vendors back and forth at the beginning and at the end of those large events. I also create the town calendar. So we do a photo contest each year, and then I gather all of those, and then from there, I put together a PowerPoint presentation that's sent out to all of the town council and the members of the town. We all vote, and then those are the ones that we select, and then also get that produced and sold to town residents. This year we added the town merchandise, and that I worked with my vendors at the market to select items that would be things that we could have for sale. Less to make money from, but more to just have something that we offered as a service. It was something that was very, it's very popular in places like Ocean Isle. And it is, so that's why we've done it. Also, just to improve communication, so we could have these items set up and kind of get people to come over and talk to us at the markets and at the concerts each week. Additionally, I am the town representative to the Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, and so helping the chamber support local businesses. I help them with the golf tournament specifically that's at Sea Trail. We did it there last year, and I think we'll do it there again. So we have monthly meetings for that. I also assist town departments with events that they're planning. If they have trainings or public events or community outreach, I would be working to assist them, such as the Trick or Treat Trail. That's really a police department event, but I will be there in support as they need it. I also work closely with a couple of the different committees in town, specifically the Environmental Resources Committee and the Tree Board, to plan their townwide celebrations. So we'll have an Arbor Day celebration this year in March, and we'll have the Green Wave, which is what we started last year, for the ERC, and that will be in May. And then as well, another thing that I do is try to develop a charitable element to go with the holiday market. So last year we were able to fill a U-Haul and take it up to Western North Carolina. And this year we're helping out Possibility, who's also works with us at the holiday market. They need dog and cat food, so that's what we're trying to gather. So we'll have that as part of the events on both Friday at the tree lighting and Saturday at the market. And then I also work with the deputy town clerk on the planning and anything that we do on social media. So we have some ideas of things that we're going to be working on, hopefully for the fall. I also have a list of events for everyone that sort of highlights the big events that we have in town. All the ones that are highlighted in yellow are ones that they are not planned by the town, but we support. And the dates on here for some of them are tentative, and that's noted on there. We also have the concerts; those are all booked for the summer season, and I'm in the process of putting together the contracts that go out to all of those vendors. So we will have that in place. And just as far as future events go, I'm not sure how many more events we want to book at the town park. It's nice for people to be able to enjoy the park without having it filled up with events every single weekend. I think what we have is terrific. And then I think there might be some spaces that we could do some different things. A couple of things that I would like to do in the future would be to add to the lighting scheme we have in the park. We are able to uplight 4 of the live oaks in the park, and we'd like to continue to do 4 more next year and then 4 more the year after. I'd also like to add a digital signboard at Town Hall, which would improve communication. So as people are driving past Town Hall, to have a larger sign that says Town Hall, and then be able to program that with, whether it's information about the concerts coming or the markets, or if the police have something, or it's National Fire Prevention Week, whatever it is, that we could use that as another point of communication. It would be great to add events at the beach, but we do have some issues. Basically, because we don't have vending, to have events at the beach is hard. You have to have, with parking, you really need to have coordination with the pier. So we're able to do the race on the beach because the pier is willing to work with them and they'll have people come in and they'll use the lot at the beach if we wanted to do something like that. And also we have limited food establishments at the beach, and we don't allow vending, so we can't really bring in other food establishments on the beach. So that makes it a little bit more difficult to plan events at the beach. But we will have Majestic Oaks Park online at some point, and I think a fun thing to do would be to do a bike-in movie as opposed to a drive-in movie to kind of encourage people who are over on the island to come over and enjoy the park. We can do that easily with an inflatable screen. And kind of do more kids movies, something like what Ocean Isle does on Tuesday nights, just on a smaller scale. The other ideas that we could do, one thing, we could definitely do some sort of a sand sculpture festival on the beach, or Chinese lantern release with the wish lanterns. Trying to break a Guinness World Record. There's a world record that is the most people doing sand angels at once, and it's only 1,700 people, which is pretty much, I feel like we get almost that many for Sit-a-thon. So it would be great to do something like that. And also possibly adding an Easter event. That's something that we don't have budgeted right now, but might be something fun to add in the future. And hoping to do a St. Patrick's Day market this year. So.
You stated that the parking, when town events happen at the town park, that parking is, I think you work with the businesses there. Is that a volunteer that they just contribute that? Or does the town pay to use those parking lots over there? I guess I'm specifically talking about the one that's owned by the Holdens, where Island Breeze is. I understand we use their parking lot. Do we pay for that?
No, we do not. I go to each business and I will give them a spreadsheet of dates that we have events, and they can either approve or deny our use. And it's completely voluntary. And if they are willing for us to do it, then I will have an attendant there to make sure, and I'll provide the signage. We have the attendants to kind of direct people. They don't have any enforcement authority. So if somebody says, yeah, right, they can park there. And there's not really anything we could do about it. So we do it as a courtesy to the businesses to be able to support them. And if they don't want us to park there, there's different businesses that for
yes, I was going to ask you, how many businesses are there that actually are the property owner for that business?
So I'm always, whenever I'm checking for parking, I'm speaking with Dave's, Island Breeze, who also, the Old Bridge lot is theirs as well. So that's kind of a 2-for-1. Mavericks. And then I have Bill's and Houses, Coastal Outfitters. And if it's a larger event, then I would go down towards Dollar General or Century 21, but I don't always do that because those aren't always people that are filled. So one thing that's definitely helped is just having those signs to let people know that they can angle park on the sides of the street as long as their 4 wheels are off the street. It's alleviated a lot of the parking issues. And then for the largest events to be able to do the satellite parking. And Seaside Methodist is always great in letting us use that. Last year we did use the open lot that's sort of between the Food Lion and the planetarium. It's very sandy. People's cars can get stuck, and it takes a lot of labor on our part to be able to kind of stake it out and get people to go the right way. And it wasn't used enough. So this year we did just Seaside Methodist, and it worked perfectly. And we never filled that lot for Sunset at Sunset. So I think that the one lot was better, and we were able to cut down on the number of buses that we needed. So we saved some money there as well.
The town merchandise that's under you, I think that's what you said. About how much of that have we sold?
We have sold a good amount. Different items have sold better than others. We've sold out on the t-shirts twice. The hats have gone really well. And we have some turtles that we've sold. And so those we've gone through. I only purchased 25 of each item. So I don't have a huge inventory sitting and waiting to be sold. So
has there been any complaints with our local businesses that the town is competing with their merchandise that they sell?
Well, in general, there shouldn't. I can say that our merchandise would be different only because we're allowed to use the logo and no one else has the logo. So what we have is just things that are on the logo. And I also don't sell, the only place it's sold right now is at Town Hall. And we were bringing it to the concerts, but found that it wasn't a super popular thing at the concerts. And then at the markets, I was only selling t-shirts and baseball hats because the vendors at the market were the ones who provided it. I didn't want to compete with their sales. So we did it, and basically I did not, we're not making money on it. It's very much, we're selling it for what we bought it for. It's not to make money for the town. It's just to have things that people would like beach towels or things like that.
To market the town.
Exactly.
Who is in your department?
Just me.
So you do all of this without any help from anyone?
Well, I mean, I do everything like the planning and things like that. Yes, that I do on my own. The day of the events, someone from the administrative department, usually Sydney, comes and works with me at the market just because I can't always be attending the town booth. But day of events, it's all hands on deck. So police, fire, public works, obviously, everyone's always there with us. So. And then Suzanne usually comes and volunteers and helps me out with driving. And depending on the events and how many people I have, different people will volunteer and come and help me.
In the budget, I think this is a question for our administrator, since you're the budget officer, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, Tara actually is.
Tara's the finance officer.
And the budget officer.
And the budget officer.
Mhm.
Okay. So in your budget, this is not all of her, because the salary here is not, I don't think she's
split between that and the accommodations tax.
okay, but where would we find that in the budget? Would that be?
So there's there's two separate Parks and Recreation pages. There's one for the general fund and one for the accommodations fund. And that is, so you can see kind of where the division is.
I don't know that we were, that's all accommodation tax.
So in the general fund, you said?
So I'm half in the general fund under Parks and Recreation, and then I'm half in the accommodations fund.
So we just don't, this is a roll up, the first sheet, which you're looking at. And then the supplemental pages that break it down by fund. I don't think we don't have that. Could we have that?
I think you do. I can't swear to it because I printed it straight off of the website, but you should have a accommodations tax, Parks and Rec, fire,
Parks
and
Rec
police.
right here. So Parks and Rec, it's under town events. Like there's a $31,000 for town events.
Yeah, that's part of the general fund.
Okay.
Okay.
And there's also
Well, it's all under the general
there's
fund.
also a special event.
No, the accommodations tax is its own fund.
Okay, so
special
that's
event fee.
what we do not have.
Okay.
Yeah, so we need a copy of that.
One question, Amy, and for starters, thanks for all you do. I feel like from the market vendors, from people attending the markets, I feel like they are loving that you're here. I also feel like I've noticed in meetings where you take things on to help promote, like you said at the committee meetings, to promote them doing stuff in Canva, doing different things like that, to kind of take the lead sometimes to get that stuff going, and it's done in a very professional way out to the community and as a whole. A question I had about merchandise sales, sorry, this is so loud. In the budget, when I'm looking at the general fund, it has nothing budgeted for this physical year. Is that just because you're breaking even?
I think that it is because the merchandise was done after the budget was done. So I'm not sure
Okay.
I'm not sure where
And
the
how was it
that
paid
goes.
for, I guess, the merchandise? Like what?
It came
pocket
out of
money?
it came out of advertising.
Okay, okay.
And that is on these sheets that you gave us.
Correct. So I
advertising?
have advertising in both the general fund and in the accommodations fund. So my ads and banners and my signs for everything that I do comes out of the accommodations fund. And then I also have $2,000 in the general fund. So it's kind of split.
Okay. And if
Uh,
you've got more detail on that, that would probably be helpful to know. And I have been asked, and I think it was asked at a town council meeting regarding our merchandise sales. Are we paying the taxes back?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, because that was asked and I
Mhm.
didn't know the answer. I
Yes.
said I'll ask because
Yep.
I have no idea.
We figured that all
Yeah.
in on the pricing, so that way we're
Right.
able to do it. And yeah, Tara tracks it, and she's
Okay.
paying that back.
And everything that you're purchasing or everything you're getting from our market vendors, that the town's paying them for that outright. It's not like any sort of agreement. We're just buying it outright and then reselling it.
I buy the items directly
Okay,
from
okay.
them and then sell them. Yes.
Okay.
Now, anything, we're talking about the apparel, most of that was purchased before June 30th, which is this current fiscal year, so that it would have incurred in the prior year, even though it was mentioned for this following year.
Correct.
And then I read where we're going to start website sales, possibly. or going
Ideally-
to. How is that gonna?
Ideally, we would like to have a shop as part of the website. It's something that we don't have the website. We don't have the technology for it currently with the website. Is that correct, Kimberly? With the Catalyst, it's something that they're working on, but they can't do it yet. So when we are able to do it, then that would be something that we would handle.
I just don't have a shop feature in it.
I think we're waiting on the shop feature. Am I right?
It'll be something that we'll have to work on now that we're in this. It'll be something that we're working on now that we're in this slower season. And after all of her markets calm down, yes, we're looking to expand that on the website. So we're in the process of planning and then we'll go into the build.
For a lot of the vendors that it could be on demand like you're stocking some, but it would be an order's placed and then they could fill the order and ship it directly to the individual. Would that be the goal, to not create more work for staff in a way, that it would kind of be done?
I don't know. I think that for right now, I think that we'd fulfill the orders until we saw that it was something that that we couldn't handle. And then we'd look into what we were actually putting on there and if we needed to have them do fulfillment for us. But for right now, we'd manage it to start with. We already kind of do it. People will call us and ask us for, they want to buy calendars or they want Sunset at Sunset t-shirts or things like that. So they'll go through the website and they'll go through on the website and we'll tell them how much it is. They'll make the payment with their credit card and then we'll ship to them. So we'll do that for that as well.
Did I hear you say you were on the Chamber of Commerce board?
Yes.
Very good.
Yes, so that's we have a town rep. All of the towns, as part of the chamber, are offered a position to be able to participate at the board, and we're pretty much the only town that does right now. So Ocean Isle obviously does a lot with the chamber because they host the Oyster Festival and a few other things that they do that the chamber does. But I try to be an active participant with them. So getting out just to meet people and try to get as much that we can do. I know we're talking about partnering, using the park as first a future chamber event, and then being able to partner with Oak and Palm to do the food. So kind of getting people down there and trying that as well. So trying to promote as many local businesses as we can.
With the banners and for advertising, is that something you're sourcing out, or is that?
I do have those banners printed.
Yeah.
We have a plotter which lets us print poster size things, but to get things that are mounted on to any sort of foam core or on the vinyl that we need to make the banners, then we use a local sign company and they take care of all that for us.
Or any of those where they can be interchanged with the dates, like things that happen all the time?
Well, what I will do is like for things like Jazz in the Park, I reuse the banners over and over again and then just buy a sticker and stick the sticker on there to change the dates.
switching gears, talking about the concerts, is it 15 that we have?
We're actually going to have an additional concert this year because of the way the weeks fall.
16.
And we're going to have 16.
Okay.
But we've worked it out to be able to keep the budget the same.
Has there been any consideration to extend the concert series, like miss a few in the summertime when it's so hot and we're all beaten down in sweat, that we could do it maybe in September, October, where it's more just nicer for our community? You know, we have people here with tourists that are here year round. It just seems like it would be nice if we could have something for our community in September or October. I'm sure you two ladies are talking.
Yeah,
Or I hope you are.
We do. And right now, we normally have one rain date, but because we had so many rain issues this year, we're going to have 2 rain dates next year. So that'll bring us through September 16th. And then I'm also going to have Jazz in the Park at that point as well. And so that'll be in, hoping that my goal is to do that. I have to check the date with them, but to do that also in September. And then and then we have the concerts that happen at Sunset at Sunset. So we haven't talked about not doing it in the summer because it's something that's kind of county-wide, where everybody does these concert series throughout the summer. So it would just be a matter of, I'm sure we could find bands, and it would just be a matter of if we wanted to allot more money towards it to be able to add a few more dates.
Could you elaborate on the July 4th celebration and how much money has been earmarked for that thus far?
Absolutely. So for 4th of July, we're working on making a 3-day event. I have a committee that is participating in different aspects of it, from decor to the, so I'll walk you through the events. We'll start with the market on Thursday. So that will be July 2nd. And we will have our regular market, but we will try to put more of a patriotic red, white, and blue bent onto it. Ask the vendors to dress up. We might do some contests, I think it would be fun to do like a little, so many dogs at the market, would do some sort of like a dog parade, patriotic pooch, something. And then also work with one of my vendors who's already at the market to hand out, to do some sort of fun cookie or something that we'd give out to everyone who attended, and we could have lemonade, things like that. So it will be kind of an expanded market. But
who's going to pay for the fun cookie and the lemonade?
it's all, I've budgeted each event separately, but it's all budgeted currently in the 4th of July event. It's a $60,000 budget that's been budgeted in town events under the accommodations tax fund that I have budgeted there. And I've also had some people reach out that want to participate as sponsors, so I'll be able to offset some of that as well. On Friday, July 3rd, the plan is to do a community picnic and concert in the park. We're going to do something that's going to be relatively simple. We're going to grill hot dogs, and I think we're thinking hot dogs, bags of chips, watermelon, and then we will have our regular concert as well. We'll have a little additional program at the beginning of the concert. And we have River Mist, which was one of our most popular bands last year. That's going to come and participate in that. The committee that's working on that was talking about trying to do a flotilla at the same time. I don't know if that's something that for sure we're going to do, but there's been a lot of different ideas kind of put around. We also have money in that budget based on for decor. So we will be decorating the gazebos both at the park and at the beach, and also town hall. And that can either be starting Memorial Day and lasting through July 4th weekend, or we can do it just for July 4th weekend.
The hot dogs, the chips, and the watermelon, is that for Sunset Beach taxpayers only, or is that for the whole community at large?
It would be for anybody who came. We would have a limited amount. I'm not sure how we could ask people to be sure that they're taxpayers or if they're visitors. I won't really be able to tell. So I think we're going to, our plan is to do maybe 3,000 hot dogs. So that way we'll have enough for everybody who's coming and to be able to provide those. It's a lot of hot dogs. We've got some big grills that get towed behind, and Carrie is the master barbecuer, so he's going to help me. And one of the firemen as well has a large grill, so we're coordinating on exactly how we're going to do that. But my plan is not to put out a big advertisement in any local papers or anything for these events. It would be to communicate using our e-alerts and that kind of things, which only go to the people in town, and to be able to, it might even make sense and something that we haven't talked about, but maybe to do a bulk mailer that lists out all of the things that are happening that weekend and direct it specifically towards town residents, or put something in the flyers for, have a flyer that we could give to the realty companies for visitors as well.
Got a question on that. 4th of July weekend. Knowing what the town ordinances are, is there any plans for a fireworks display?
Yes. So on 4th of July itself, we are planning to do a fireworks display at the beach. It will be going off of the pier. So we have coordinated with the pier, and we've contracted with a vendor as well. We have met with the county fire marshal and talked to them about exactly how this would happen. And we've also contracted a bus service so that we can bring people from the mainland over to the island as well, and to get as many people there as possible, so that way we don't have any sort of parking issues.
Mr. Postle, thank you for asking that. I know that you all on your Facebook, the police department and the fire department, you often put each year that fireworks are not allowed. So I want to make sure we're clear. We're going to make an exception for us to have fireworks, even though they're not allowed in town. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, it's going to be a professional fireworks display as opposed to a private person.
So we
doing
can have
fireworks.
professional fireworks now.
So, state of North Carolina fireworks aren't allowed.
Microphone.
The state of North Carolina, and Chief Clay can back up on this, no, fireworks aren't allowed. But there's exceptions to that for municipalities such as, like Ocean Isle shoots them off every year, so we can do that.
What's the process of that? Do we do a resolution stating we're allowing this?
I think you may have to do that as it gets a little bit closer. Amy and I had a meeting a couple of weeks ago, kind of preliminary with Gary at the pier to see if this was possible. All is well with the county fire marshal. We met as him as well, so everything's lining up to do that. Yes.
Have you all talked with the Sea Turtle Watch Program, Carmel Zets, to ensure that this is not something that's going to bother our sea turtles that are protected under the state and the national levels?
I will speak directly with her. I believe Carmel knows that we're doing it. We've had the conversation talking about 4th of July, but I will also speak with her. I know that there's a turtle patrol as well in Ocean Isle, and they do the fireworks there, as does Holden Beach. So I think that we should be good with that, but I will make sure that we have a separate conversation about the fireworks.
The firework, I guess, that goes up, is there any residual that comes down that's going to get in our ocean?
This is how all of the fireworks have been fired off. It's not like the normal, like the ones that I think we get where there's, I'm not a fireworks expert, but they're mortars as opposed to like actual fireworks. So there's not that paper that kind of, and that ash that comes down. So
there's no ash coming down.
It's not, it doesn't come into the water. So I will double check that with him. But yeah, they shoot them off of piers into the ocean for all of the events that they do, and all of the local beach towns, Cherry Grove and all of those. So it's the same person that does those.
And how much is just the fireworks piece and the buses and all that going to cost?
It's about half the budget.
So $30,000.
Mm-hmm.
And how much are going to be the community picnic? What was your line item budget for that?
I'd have to go back and look at what it was. I think that's about, well, the band is not included because the band is part of the concert series, because we just were shifting the date and we ended up being able to add a concert for that Wednesday night. So I have to go back and look at how I broke it down, but ballpark, I think that was close to 10.
And the transportation to get over to the island?
That's included in that 30. Mm-hmm.
Have the contracts been signed for the buses and the fireworks already?
They have.
And I will remind you that all this is being paid for by the accommodations tax. So it's actually the visitors are helping the taxpayers by giving them a free picnic on the accommodations tax dime.
It's still a tax.
Not the taxpayers.
It's still a
funds.
tax that anybody that does anything in our community, it's a tax. And we still need to be fiduciary responsible for taxes. So you're saying that contracts have already been signed for the fireworks?
Yes, they have.
May we see the contracts for all of the events that you have planned?
Mm-hmm. I can get those for you.
One general concern I have as well is on July 4th. I don't know if I'm sure a lot of you were on the island on July 4th this past year. It was backed up across the bridge, packed out, and we had half of our Main Street wasn't open, as y'all know. So we had 200 spots that weren't even available for people to park, and it was gangbusters over there. What's going to be involved to make, me personally, I don't want Sunset becoming Ocean Isle with the traffic, and that 1 week is great. To me, the fact of doing it on that day when everyone who lives near the beach or the island, it is unbelievable. It would be the worst time I would pick to do that. Also, on July 4th, you can sit on the beach near the pier at Sunset Beach and see the fireworks going on the Ocean Isle throughout our whole beach. You also can see the little river down that way, fireworks going off. So I don't know, was there any look at other days or just giving feedback that of all days, it is so packed there already. We're creating a safety numbers game when that island is only so big.
So a couple things.
Okay. Just sorry.
First, no.
Thank you.
So our initial plan was to do the fireworks on July 5th. However,
That's what I have heard.
Correct.
Yeah, I was shocked by the 4th.
However, Ocean Isle already contracted to do them on the 5th. So Ocean Isle will not have fireworks on the 4th. So that's why we were able to do the 4th. The plan for these it's going to be close to 9 p.m. by the time we send those fireworks off. So there will be, it'll be, obviously later in the day. I think every 4th of July and Memorial Day and Labor Day, there is backed up by the bridge to get onto the island.
But if
with
my
the limited
concern is if we
parking.
promote fireworks and Ocean Isle isn't doing it, we're going to be, and we're providing buses.
Well, and I think again, it's all in how we're promoting it. I don't think that promoting it in the Beacon or that kind of thing is the best way to promote it. And I think directing all of our promotions towards the taxpayers and people who live in town is going to be the best way to promote it.
We're in November of 2025. This event is for July of 2026. About what time did you sign this contract?
We signed it was maybe 2 months ago. I can't remember exactly what date it was that
We can
it
get you a
was
copy
signed.
of it. You can see what date it was signed. It's recent, within a couple of months.
Yeah.
What was the rush to sign it?
Well, based on the fact that it's the 250th anniversary of the country, things booking up quickly. So the vendors were looking to have the contracts signed and done ahead of time to be able to build out their schedules, because that week is going to be the busiest week for them, probably in many years.
In that contract, do you have any flexibility on altering the date, adjusting the date?
Again, we'd have to look through the
Okay.
contract.
Did we talk to Ocean Isle at all about why they moved theirs to July 5th? Was it because July 4th they knew it'd be crazy or on a Saturday? I mean, it's a Saturday as well.
It is a Saturday.
Yeah.
It's not, I'm sure for Ocean Isle, that was part of the issue because they have such a much larger rental population than we have each week. I didn't speak with them specifically about exactly why they switched their date. I just knew that they did.
Because if they're not doing theirs, we're going to have more people. Was there any concern from fire and police of doing the fireworks on the beach and safety and I'll have from fire perspective or police?
So as I mentioned earlier, we started, I can't say completed planning because we'll still plan up until that day, but shooting from the pier, obviously pretty safe with the vendor that we contracted with. No concerns there. He has to meet so many requirements as far as the North Carolina fire code and things like that. So no concerns from that part.
Extra insurance for the pier in case something were of known.
I think that's a portion of it. Yes. Yes.
So
He's
there
got
are
to have
extra
so
insurance.
much.
Yeah.
Who has to pay that?
I think that falls on Gary's insurance. I'm pretty sure. I'm not
And you
up
all
to
have
snuff on that.
discussed this with him, and he's willing to pay the extra for the insurance.
We are paying him a fee.
You're paying him, the town is paying a fee to the pier to cover the cost of the use of the pier and liability insurance.
And we will indemnify him on our insurance as well.
And have you all talked about amongst yourselves about traffic and about safety issues for our residents and our visitors?
When this was first discussed, we expressed some concerns about the amount of traffic that's going to come in, additional traffic that's going to come in on July 4th. In addition to that, there's golf cart parades that go on. We talked about moving the golf cart parade to another day, the Island Golf Cart Parade, to try to accommodate. But of course, their parade is well before the fireworks event is scheduled to happen. Amy did
Sorry,
say.
just to interrupt. They did move the golf cart parade. There won't be a golf cart parade on the 4th that day.
Okay.
When's
Amy
it
did
gonna
talk
be?
about alternative transportation for people to get to the island. But it's going to be a draw, and we're limited on parking spaces. And I guess when there's no more parking spaces, then we would have to figure out how we're going to turn people around, and that's going to take manpower to do that, which we haven't really talked about that yet.
Well, you probably know the phrase, when ice cream sales go up, crime goes up. So we've got to make provisions, and that's going to include extra staff time. Is that included in the $60,000 in the budget for this event? The $60,000 is your extra time for your department. Is that included in here?
I did not put together that budget, so I don't know. I don't believe my time would be included in that.
And
But
you'll have to, the fire department will have to have additional staff. Is that included in the $60,000?
And on a
It is not
holiday.
included.
we had talked about maybe moving the fireworks initially when this was first discussed, with it being that particular anniversary. That was what I think the direction was that they wanted to go. So as far as our end, we'll do what we always do and come in and figure out a way to make it work.
And I guess we'll be tasked with making sure it's making it work in the budget, because it seems like it's not just 60,000. It's going to be more than that.
Do you think your whole department would need to have to work July 4th night to accommodate that?
I don't think the entire department would, no.
But a lot would.
We're going to need extra people for sure. Anytime we have an event, we try not to put the strain on the people that are assigned to work the road. Because if there's calls for service in Oyster Bay or Sandpiper Bay, our people need to be able to go there. So we use extra people to cover the special events so that the road is still sufficiently covered.
The budget already includes extra staff for police and fire on July 4th, Memorial Day, Labor Day. That's automatically built in every year. And I don't see that this event would cause any additional over the extras that are already budgeted for.
And additionally, just that July 4th is in next year's budget, and this is for this year's budget. So that those numbers, as far as the labor and things, would be going into, that would be part of the budget plan that we are working on for next year. So it
Yeah.
wouldn't be reflected here while it
Right.
is still part of the costing. It just wouldn't be reflected.
Yeah,
in
I
that.
understand Budget 101. What I'm concerned with is we've already earmarked 60,000, and now we're gonna have to have some more money that our taxpayers are gonna have to pay for this event. And that's a very strong concern, I think, that you're hearing from, well, us two are that are talking about it.
What I'm
It may
saying
not be
is-
for the entire council. The entire council may not feel the same way that we feel, but it's a lot of money.
They already budget every year for extra police and fire for those major holidays. So those extras are already in the budget.
I understand that, but they're not in the budget for next calendar year when we know that we're going to have additional staff that is required for something that we have not had before. We've never had a 250-year celebrations. We've never had this elaborate of a celebration for the July 4th. So what I'm saying is you're saying that it's already been budgeted.
Every
But-
year it is already budgeted because those are hot button events.
I understand
or
that, but
holidays.
but it is not budgeted for now.
Well,
we
we don't
will
have
ha-
anything budgeted for
we-
26, 27.
Right, and that's
We will
that's
start that in
exactly what
January
that
and
is exactly
February.
what I'm talking about. Is that you've already got 60,000 in here. Now you're going to ask the taxpayers to pay even more.
No, we are not going to pay any more than what they already budget every single year. They budget for 4 extra police, I believe, 4 extra firemen are budgeted every single year for those events.
Okay.
It's
And-
not any additional.
Will you need additional other than what is normally required of a normal July 4th? Will you need additional staff in the police department? And then I'm going to ask you about the fire, about this event that we know is going to have an influx of people. We've never had fireworks. Now all of a sudden we're going to have fireworks. So what the town administrator is saying is before you always had 4 additional staff. Are you anticipating additional staff for this event?
We've never had this event before, so until we see it, I'm not going to know exactly, how to prepare for the next time around. I think with that number of people, we would have to reallocate where we assign them. So if we budget for 4, we're busy, as you know, from the time the sun comes up, way past till the sun goes down, because we're getting fireworks complaints all over town. So if we had 2 people that work the day shift, 2 additional people that work the night shift, likely we would need to move those hours so that we have more resources at nighttime, with the anticipation that this fireworks display is going to be a huge draw.
Similar to Chief's response, the parade, we normally bring in extra staffing for that. So if we're not doing that, we're going to transfer those people over to the fireworks. So in a way, that's correct. 100%, we're going to reallocate our people. We're going to have extra staff on July 4th as well. We always do in kind of preparation for worst case scenario.
With the addition of the fireworks, you'll have to have, just by virtue of having fireworks, will you have to have an additional staff hours for that?
We'll have to, there's certain requirements what we have to do as far as unloading of the fireworks. So when the fireworks arrive in the truck, in the cargo truck, we have to stage an engine from the time the truck gets there until the time the fireworks are moved out onto the pier. And then we have a bit of lax time as he sets up, and then we have to be there during fireworks and things like that. So yes.
If I can add one thing, one of the things too that I'm thinking about, the majority of special events that we do, whether it's fireworks, concerts, anything, I'm there, the fire chief's there, our number 2s are there, and we don't get overtime. So our cost to the town is significantly less when we come out after hours. We're just compensated with hour-for-hour flex time.
So is the
You're
pier
understand-
going to be closed down during that process at all?
The pier will have to be completely closed while the fireworks are moved out, which he estimated would take about 45 minutes. They use golf carts and are able to move them out pretty quickly. Then they set up a barricade so that way Gary's still able to have people fish and be able to use the pier during the day. And then when the pier is being shot, when they're actually ready to fire fireworks, it is closed as well.
So they'll shoot them up at the Kingfish area at the end of the pier.
Anything else for Amy?
This was the same information that you provided to the candidates on September the 10th.
Yeah, we didn't go as far in depth into the budget, but this is the events that we had talked about. Yes.
Great. Thank you, Amy.
Thanks.
Very informative.
Sure.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Suzanne Swinney. I work in the HR department here. I've been here since August of last year, so a year and 3 months or so. So what we do in the HR department is the entire life cycle of the employee. So everything, compensation, benefits, payroll, recruitment, hiring, the training, development, compliance and policies as far as HR is concerned, employee relations. So in summary, my role is to be the liaison or a resource for the employees of the town. So right now we have approximately 135 employees. Of those is 69, and that was the numbers as of this morning, 69 full-time and 47 part-time. And then the remainder of that number is either elected, appointed, or retirees.
One more time on those numbers, please.
Okay, yes, 135. 69 are full-time right now, 47 part-time, and then the remainder of that, which my number is 19, are elected, appointed, or retirees.
About how many retirees?
We have about 10 retirees that we still account for. 3 of those are actually on the payroll.
Right.
So they still get their retirement benefit monthly. So that's the numbers.
You said 3 are still on the payroll?
Yes, as far as their monthly benefit comes through. So,
And that's law separation.
Right.
some of the current projects or things that we have been working on, in April, we were notified by the League of Municipalities of North Carolina. We had our ancillary benefits through them and had been for years. And I think most municipalities were set up that way and structured that way. They announced in late April that they were no longer going to be able to do that for us. So we were scrambling, as were 330 other municipalities, trying to find brokers to be able to go out and do that and outsource that. So that is in place. We did not go at any point without service or without any type of benefit coverage, but we had to find an outside vendor who was HILB, H-I-L-B, was the vendor that we used or broker we used for that process. That has been a very manual process. So getting those systems set up and getting that structure set up, because the MIT group or the league group did all of that for us basically. We got one billing and they outsourced, went to the vendors and did all of that. Well, that's not really happening now. So again, that's been a very manual process and taken up a lot of time. So another thing that happened for us was the state changed the plan as far as the state health plan, because all of our full-time employees are under the state health plan. And that changed to go to a salary-based or salary band system as far as premiums are concerned. So that did go in place, or will go in place on January 1. So we just finished open enrollment with our benefits, and that will go in, start with payroll first payroll in December or January 1st. So that's some of the things that we have been working on that's taken a lot of time. Another thing that is in the works right now is NeoGov. we're going to be using their learning module, which is a web-based program that's going to help us with all of our compliance training and things. Right, we don't have any way of doing that now, so it's been either in person or whatever. And I don't know if you've ever tried to look for any kind of training outside, or it's kind of just sporadic. Maybe you can find something on YouTube or whatever, but NeoGov, their learning module, will have all of those. And it also goes out to the LinkedIn Learning, if you're familiar with that. So there's hundreds of trainings that then would be available for us to use. Everybody will be signed in. Everybody will have a user for that. So that's something else that's being set up that's actually new as well.
One question about the benefit, the state benefits, the change of all of that. How did that affect employees? Are they paying a lot more? I mean, how, like, for salaries, is their take home a whole lot less with this new plan and this banding by salaries? Or
I wouldn't. It definitely will cause an increase for the employee on average, and it really depends. The state has two plans that they can pick from. One is a lower premium benefit, which is we call a 70-30 plan. The other is an 80-20 plan. With that 80-20, you're going to pay more. As example, the deductible is lower, your copays are lower, but then their premium is going to be more expensive. So on average, it's going to be about, and I'm saying average, about $15 a week more per employee.
Each individual employee chooses what they want.
That's
is what you're
correct.
saying.
That is
And
correct.
this is totally different than the way normal governments have done it, because the leagues change and no longer.
Well, now that we're talking medical with that, and so I'm sorry if I wasn't clear about that one. When we're talking the state medical plan, that's where the salary-based premiums came in. That's where we have no choice in what the premium is. The state mandates that. So that's the change that's cost about 15% more. The ancillary benefits with the dental and vision and the life insurance, long-term, we eliminated short-term disability, brought in long-term disability, but then short-term disability was offered as a voluntary plan. They can also do voluntary life and dependent coverage and things like that. So those are separate from the medical plan. Those were not more. Those were actually, the contracts that we got for that were actually a little bit less.
Do we provide the ancillary benefits to our employees free of charge? Do they pay a portion of it?
They pay that. It's paid for by the employee. They pay for the town pays half for the dependent.
Okay.
Say that one more time.
The town pays for the employee, the ancillary for the employee,
Okay.
but if you have dependents, if they want to have dependent coverage, and there's a tier structure, whether it be employee and spouse, employee and children, or family, then the town pays half of that coverage.
Do you know if that update is in the personnel manual that you gave us last week?
No, it probably wasn't.
Okay.
You mean for the premium updates and
Well,
everything?
In here, it does talk about the ancillary benefits, and it talks about some other things, but I don't think it's updated because this is so new.
Right. Personnel policy hasn't been updated since 2014. That's one of the things that Suzanne and I are working on as well, is to get that updated, especially with all these insurance changes. That, yes, that needs to be updated, but it has not.
But what is covered is actually still accurate in the personnel policy, as far as the medical insurance is by the state plan, as far as the ancillary is the town paying half of those premiums. So I don't think in the policy itself, it's not identified who those carriers are or anything, because that's potentially going to change with every contract year.
And for the state plan, our employees, we pay for their health insurance. The town pays.
The state requires us to pay. It was $50 that we're mandated to pay. Now that's going to be salary based. So there is a structure, and then there is a tier based on the salary of what the state mandates that they pay. So they are going to have to pay a portion, but they have had to pay a portion all along.
But you said it increases by $15 a week or 15%?
$15.
$15.
So that's and I'm just saying average,
So
because
about-
you've got some on one end and some on the other, but the average cost for our employees going to be about $15 a week.
So that would be about $780 a year. So they're basically getting a pay cut or due to health insurance coverage.
And you're saying one end to the other, you mean in lower salaried employees versus higher? Is
That's correct. Yes. So the band and most of ours fall within, let's say the band is 50,000, starts at 50 up to 65,000. And then with the 6501, it's going to go to the next tier. So there's a different, and that is, I can provide all that information as far as and it's on the state website as well. It's just not as easy to understand because it's not broken out by the town paying half of the dependent care. So it looks elevated or expanded because of the town paying half. You're not going to get those calculations, but I did do a separate spreadsheet that's got those exact numbers in there, what the employee will pay.
You stated that part of your responsibilities is the recruitment of employees.
Yes, ma'am.
We had a position, the finance director position.
Mm-hmm.
You did not recruit for that job, is that correct?
I did not. We outsourced that.
Okay. And
yes.
Did we pay anything for that? Because it seemed like we didn't hire anybody new.
That's correct.
So did we pay anybody? I don't remember the name of the firm that we town contracted out. Did we, in fact, execute that contract? Did we pay somebody, the vendor?
No, we did. Well, they did not. They found some candidates for us, so we gave them like a minimal finder's fee kind of thing, because they did find some folks, but we did not use the candidates that they brought to us.
Do you know about how much the town paid for that?
I think we gave them $3,000 or $5,000.
2,500,
something. I can look up for you.
Yeah, we'd have to get that number for you.
And is that something moving forward that you feel comfortable doing? If not, you don't feel comfortable, why would you not, as HR director, feel comfortable doing that?
Are you talking about outsourcing?
No, I'm talking about, you said one of your responsibilities was recruitment.
Mm-hmm.
And when this contract was awarded to that vendor, you were new. I guess that's why it was outsourced. I mean, we do not know why it was outsourced.
It was outsourced because we were unable to find a finance director that met our standards. So we thought that this would benefit us by broadening the scope or the area.
So I guess my question is, if you're in charge of recruitment, what is your reach? What is your broad? Because I mean, we don't want to, every time we have we'll say an executive level position that comes available, we're asking you to do some and we're asking a vendor to do another. It seems like that should be under your purview. You came highly acclaimed to us that you had a lot of experience with recruitment. And now I'm hearing that we couldn't do that because we didn't have a broad reach. What does that mean? We don't have a broad reach.
That means at that point, we didn't have the capability of looking across the state or across the country for those types of things.
How would that look now with your experiences?
I think it really depends, as with all HR answers, it really depends. It depends on your position. It depends on the qualifications you're looking for. It depends on the market. I think in the case of the finance director, that was a very limited number of people that were actually qualified for that position. So that's why we decided to go with that outside recruiter, because they had the resources to do the data mining, if you will, to find that those people maybe, and they did a lot of outreach to people who were already currently in positions, not just in the people who were out and maybe looking for or applied, that would apply for the job on their own.
So they could have been like a headhunter that had a pipeline of applicants that they could have asked to apply.
That's correct.
Well, can I make a comment? The finance director search was extremely long. We interviewed several people, several in person, some on video. We actually hired a person. And start all over again. So when we finally got down to deciding to use a outsource search firm, it was a case of already we've been out for 8 or 9 months without anybody. We've exhausted all the newspaper ads and everywhere else we could. We could not go into each town and say, by the way, you want a job? That's not allowed. So we, heading a search firm, they can actually do that. And it's not off us. So in that particular case, I think the search firm was probably the only way we could have gone. Now, ironically, we couldn't find anybody that matched what we needed through the search firm, so we ended up bringing back a excellent finance director. And that's what happened from the town council.
Thank you for that feedback.
Yes.
I'm thinking though, when normal positions like this come available across the state, the usual suspects that we advertise with is the League of Municipalities, county commissioner board, government jobs, all of that. Was there any feedback as to why nobody wanted to come to Sunset Beach to work? Because when I've hired employees, I had a stack of employees that wanted to come to work at the entities that I managed. Was there feedback as to why people didn't want to come to Sunset Beach?
We interviewed several employees. Many of them did not meet our standards. They claimed they did when they put in their application. When you sat down and actually interviewed them on the nitty-gritty questions that you would ask a finance director in this type of environment, they couldn't answer them correctly or truthfully. Or they'd say, I don't really have that kind of experience. We had some people who were deputy treasury, deputies to the directors in other towns came in here. And what they were what we found out after we talked to them is the fact that their job as a deputy was filling out the checks for the director to sign. That ain't what we needed.
No.
Okay. So we went through a lot of those people, and I was in a lot of interviews for this, and it was getting frustrated because we looked for somebody. Being a coastal town, we have a lot of different things going on. A lot of people that are in finance and in state, they come here and they find out about all the things they have to do regarding the accommodations tax, the beach stuff, and everything else. They start talking about it, and you find out that they have nothing. Okay. And it was frustrating. But what we ended up doing was saying, okay, when Suzanne came on board, we talked to her, we explained what we did. We wrestled a little bit and ended up trying to use a headhunter who could actually go in and probably find out a lot more about that person in their current job than we could. We'd have to take what they said on the resume. You can't even talk to their employer while they're out because you can't jeopardize their existing job. So you're kind of stuck.
You can talk to their employer.
You can,
but if they ask you not to, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Do you know about how many applicants we had for that versus how many came from the search firm?
I would have came in flurries. I'd have to say maybe 8 or 10 that we got from the ads in the newspaper. And as far as you'd have to ask about because I did not get involved I was not involved in the search firm ad or the person or two that they brought up. What we ended up doing is finding out we had nothing, and our current finance director was more than willing to come back.
We probably had 8 resumes that came through that was actually presented by the search firm. I'm sure they found more than that, but they do an extensive job in vetting. Like Mr. Posdell said, they can ask questions that we cannot in the vetting process. So with that, they probably presented us with 6 or 8. And for one reason or another, we would have phone screens with them, and they didn't have exactly what we were looking for. So,
okay. Thank you. You're welcome.
We probably got 30 or 40 actual applications for that job.
We screened them down.
Right.
After a while.
Right.
Especially when the hardware person who worked at the hardware store applied. As they were.
And we get a lot of ads, applications that come off of Indeed, and I find myself wanting to call this person and say, "Did you read the ad at all?"
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
So a lot of those were just right out of the gate.
Who are usual people that we advertise a posting with, a vacancy with? The League of Municipalities.
We advertise on the listserv for that specific field. We advertise at the Beacon. We advertise on Indeed. We post it on the website.
You do the gov job,
Yes.
any other?
Well, if it's, as example, like I have a human resource listserv that I use that's throughout the state. So depending on the job, I would post it there. If it's the inspection group also has, and the planning group also has that type of listserv, so it would be posted there. So it really depends on the job.
We put it on every listserv that even remotely does with that job. Like with job coming up, it's posted on the planning, the building inspection, and the permit listservs, in addition to all those other places.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Suzanne, you'd mentioned the NeoGov web-based program for training.
Mhm.
Is that typically once someone's already employed in a job, or is that used for onboarding purposes?
No, right now and there's several modules within the NeoGov. The only thing that we went with was the learning portion, and that's just for people once they're already come on board, and it's maybe for compliance type training. So that's what that's for.
Okay. Is there an org chart for the?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Maybe if we can get that, I didn't see it in there.
Could you have the org chart with the employee's name as well, so we know who is doing that particular duty on the O chart? I know that as we get down lower, it's going to be a lot of markings, but it would be helpful for us too to know who our employees are as we see them out and about, that we can call them by name.
So you want it with all employees, with
Yes, ma'am.
everyone, including part-times or just full-time?
I think anybody we see,
both.
we're not going to know if they're full-time or part-time.
Right.
So, and it may not be on, the sheet that you give us, that it may have to be a separate sheet.
Yeah.
But I think it would be helpful for us to know who works in what department and who they are.
Well, like as example, the larger departments like the police department and the fire, they have their own roster, if you will, that have all of their employees listed. That's not necessarily going to be on the org chart I have. I would have maybe the two, and then from there it would be firefighters. It would be your sergeants, your captain would not be listed specifically by name, but we can certainly give you that. It may not be all on one chart.
I don't
can
think we
give you
care
that.
about it one chart, but
Okay.
just so that we can have a list of the employees.
Sure.
Thank you.
And the 47 part-time, what are that? Those aren't the seasonal people. These are
It
people
is.
that's
Yes, it is.
seasonal. How many
Those are considered
seasonal?
the code compliance, beach rescue, the parking attendants that we use. Our patrol officers, we have part-time for them. We have part-time firefighters. We have public works part-time individuals. So all departments have some part-time. Some are seasonal. Some are what I would say year-round part-time, but they're still under that 1,000-hour. Anything else?
I have one question.
Sure.
And I know you don't have this in front of you, and this may be a question for later. We started the new STEP program.
Yes, ma'am.
And in there, it specifies a longevity chart.
Yes, ma'am.
And it gives specific amounts for percentages based on years of service.
Yes,
Then
ma'am.
on page 11, there's a section 19 that says a longevity award that looks like it's another 1% of the annual salary. So is that something that just needs to be taken out?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
ma'am. That was eliminated.
I'm gonna
and-
just strike through it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that was eliminated. Matter of fact, the entire salary plan that's in the old version of the personnel policy was replaced with the STEP program plan. So that 1% is not applicable anymore.
What page is that on, Katie?
It was on page 11. It's at the last paragraph. And then there's something here about outside employment. Are part-time people required to let you know that they have a job somewhere else?
The part-time do not need to let us know that, but full-time need to let us know so that there's not a conflict.
Okay, and they do that in written format?
They usually let the department managers know.
And do you all do that with written format, a written format? Okay. And then it goes to you then, to the town administrator,
Mhm.
and then you sign off on it?
I don't think ours goes to the town administrator.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I don't,
The department head makes the determination whether there's a conflict based on what we do. It doesn't go past another step.
If we have a report of a violation on page 32, it gives a contact of an attorney, a Michael Eisenberg.
that's just another one of those things that needs to be updated.
Okay, so that needs to be our current town
Yes.
attorney. Okay.
Yes.
When do the employees get this manual?
Upon hire.
So when they sign that they're coming here and do the paperwork before they have day one of being employed here, they're given this opportunity to read this document. And then
Yeah.
they sign that they have a copy of it.
There is a policy acknowledgement that goes along with it that comes back to HR.
When you verify people that say that they have a degree in something or another, you go how to get that information. How do you verify? And I'm looking at you, it may be both of you all. How do you verify that somebody that says that they have a degree in, say, mathematics, and they're applying for a job here that doesn't necessarily require a mathematics, but just walk us through how you verify.
As far as educational?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it depends on department. And those departments, like the background checks, obviously are very extensive for police and fire. The others are done, and again, it depends on the department or the position. So most of them are not done. There's not an official background check done there's a criminal background, and I'm not sure. Whoa.
Sorry, that's our generator test.
Wow.
I'm
So-
sorry.
And Chief, maybe you can answer that with the background checks that you do for us. You're just doing criminal. Is that
But my question was not necessarily for law enforcement or fire. I know you all are under different auspices with your professional standards that you have to match. That was not my question. Another employee, just not in these two departments, how do you verify that the stated education experience that they have put on their resume, cover sheet, application, whatever they're putting it on, how do you verify that that's correct? I guess my question is, do you require a transcript?
No, I do not. Not at this point. But again, it would depend on the job that we're looking for and whether or not that job description would require that particular, I think your example was the mathematics degree.
Mm-hmm.
If the job description required a mathematics or a degree in mathematics, then we would look at that. But in general, we're not going to verify that.
I guess my point, though, is from a human resource standpoint, whatever they put on that application, that too is a screening method to see if they're telling the truth. And if somebody says that they have a certain degree and they don't have that degree, then that causes one to pause. But also when you're reviewing an application and you see those credentials, that makes one think, well, gosh, this is a great candidate. And I just want to have assurances, and maybe you all don't feel that way, but just assurances that what they say on that application is in fact verified. And you said you're working through that process. So is that something that would be important to you?
Oh, absolutely, especially if the job description required it. But if it's something that's just where most of our positions are high school only, that would be as far as I would check. They may have had some college or whatever on there, but it depends on what the job description requires that position or that person bring to the table with that.
In the jobs that we have, how many do require something more than a high school education?
Maybe just the executive level or the department manager level. So I'm trying to think of what we have in general. I don't think a lot of them require a college degree.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wayne.
Kimberly?
So it says good morning, but at this point it's afternoon.
Exactly.
So I'm the town clerk for Sunset Beach. I've been in local government 20 years. So I've only been here just over a year. So lots of experience as far as small towns go, small town politics and small town agendas and small town boards and all the citizens that go with that. So it's my responsibility to serve the entire community. So every resident, whether they were able to vote or not, I know that I talked to a lot of people up to the election, and they were upset that they could not vote in this election. But regardless of who calls, I'm going to help them. My role is non-political and focused on continuity. So my office provides stability, accuracy, and transparency in how our local government operates. One of my primary duties is maintaining and safeguarding the town's official records. I also manage the administrative side of a lot of the meetings. So you see me on camera a lot doing all that stuff and all the prep work that goes into those meetings. I help out all of these department heads with whatever they need. And basically, I know where all the paper is. So if you need anything, just let me know. Any questions?
I like the portal that I guess you instituted, the portal for public records request.
Yes.
Has that worked well for you?
I think so. Yes. As long as people continue to use it. Yeah. Sometimes they just send me emails, and I like to have a backup for all those records requests because they might not get overlooked in my inbox. So that filters everything into one Excel spreadsheet that I can keep up with what's been fulfilled, or if I have to send it out and route it to other departments, it allows me to keep track of making sure all those get fulfilled.
Are you pretty up to date with all the public records requests?
For what information that I have, yes.
What does that mean? I mean, I know what that means, but how many outstanding public records requests would you have now?
I would say less than 5% remain outstanding.
A number.
That's the last one.
We're still here. 5%. I think I'm looking for a number of how many public records requests that are outstanding.
I'd have to get you that. I don't have that off the top of my head, so I'd have to get
Can't
it.
even give me an estimate?
5.
Okay. So now that this portal is being used, I think that's a great thing. But like you said, if stuff comes in, it would only come in to you for a records request, or would it possibly come in other avenues at town
It could
hall?
possibly come in other avenues, absolutely.
And then they get it to you to then
I would
get
hope so,
to get
yes.
it into the portal. Do you enter it in the portal, or do you just enter it into your spreadsheet?
If anybody emails me directly, I always ask them to go through the portal, so
Okay.
I have that record now.
Okay.
I don't know what gets in from other avenues.
Okay.
So
Okay. I guess there's perception. I'm not sure facts here, so I'm asking that our town does not always give records requests in a timely manner or give them. There was even a recent Brunswick Beacon article on that. And I don't know about y'all, but I've been asked that so many times in the last week. It's been crazy. So you feel like it is up to date on what you're receiving through the portal, like you're getting them out in a timely manner.
I absolutely do. With the records and
Okay.
information that I have at my availability, yes,
Okay.
they get them out in a timely
Okay.
manner.
Like a journalist from the Brunswick Beacon, I don't know if you read it, but an article about records requests that are in the backlog.
I only
Have
know of two, and one of his was sent out to legal, and
Okay.
that's I cannot speak for our legal team on whether they've reviewed that request or not.
Okay.
The one that you spoke of that he just reported to in the paper was regards to a contract, I believe, that was unsigned at that point. So that's why that records request was not fulfilled. So
Okay.
that wasn't exactly reported correctly, I guess, in
Okay.
the paper.
Well,
It
that's
didn't
why I'm
have all the
asking,
info.
because-
Yeah, that's why we
So
want to
yes,
know.
thank you for asking.
Okay.
Yes, because we realize the media
Yeah.
can print anything.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so that journalist stated 9 outstanding, and you just told us 5. So that is,
That's an estimate. I told you I didn't
Oh,
have the
okay.
numbers in front of me. You were just asking for an
Okay.
estimate at that point.
Is
So
there a way to pull, can you pull a record from this portal or your spreadsheet that
Yeah.
shows what's outstanding? Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe we
you
can.
know what,
absolutely.
Ms. Batchelor, he referenced something from 2024. That wouldn't be in the portal though.
yeah, the portal was just started after I got here.
Right.
So that
Yeah.
was
Yeah. So,
And your main responsibility with public records request is to answer those, or do you answer, the town administrator, who answers those?
I think it's a team effort depending on what the records request is.
Okay.
And they are all fulfilled as long as I have the information in front of me.
Would you do us a huge favor
And
and look at what the public records requests are and see whatever the journalist is referring back to from 2024 and ensure that that's been satisfied, that public records, whatever it is.
yes, I will check up on it. But like I said, if it's out for legal review, best thing I can do is check with legal to make sure that they've
Yes,
done
ma'am.
it.
how many are out for legal review?
I don't know. I'll have to get you that information.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be, okay, if a request comes in your portal, let's say, what is your process once you get it?
I usually try to fulfill it within 24 hours as long as I have access to the paper.
Okay.
The paperwork. Of course, if it's anything that has legal question, I'll get it to Lisa. Lisa will send it to legal for review, and then we'll wait on legal to say yes, we can release it or not. So,
And do we receive a lot that need legal review?
I don't believe so. No.
Okay.
Your other job responsibilities, it seems like you're at a lot of different meetings.
Yes.
So could you share with us what boards and I guess committees that you're actually there? I don't want to say clerk. Well, you would be their clerk.
Absolutely. So, council, planning board, board of adjustment, tree board, environmental resource committee. I think that covers them all.
Do you have other duties that you do here?
Anything I'm asked to do.
Could you give us an example of things that you've done?
Website updates, Facebook campaigns, backup for finance on accounts receivable. Yeah, I partnered in recycling. Let's see, administer oaths of office, keep the town seal. UDO amendments, I keep those updated. The code amendments, I keep those updated as well. So the cabanas that y'all referenced earlier, we just had intake on those and issuance of those permits. ABC licenses, I have a whole list if you just want me to give you a copy of that.
Do you do the updates for Unicode?
Yes, that's
one of the
when I
things that
mentioned
you do.
code updates. Yes,
Okay.
that's what I meant.
So you do it for Unicode and for RUDO.
Correct.
And I would say,
You're busy.
since you have, since I know you have been employed and doing website stuff, I feel like you get stuff out there very timely and it's easily searchable to come up. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for all you do.
You're welcome. Next.
Take all 45.
What?
Take all 45.
for vendor lunch.
And your chart.
I'll go first, but I'll stick around so that if there are any public safety related questions. You know me, but my name's Ken Claymar. I've been with the town since 2017. My 31st year of law enforcement altogether. I want to focus mainly on the operation, not me. But we have an emphasis on employee development, which is part of the pay plan as well. But that's something that we've worked hard at for the entire time I've been here. I'm not going to be here forever. And I want to be sure that whoever comes behind me, or behind him, or behind the sergeants or patrol officers are prepared to take over. If we're absent because of training or illness, the place shouldn't have to shut down. There should be other people that are trained and qualified and capable to do the things that need to be done to keep the operation going. And we've done that. We've done a very good job at developing employees. We're not fully staffed right now. We're working to get there. We have a total of 20 that we are authorized for, and we have just 3 part-time people. Our recruitment process, as you mentioned, I mean, there's things that we do specifically to try to attract people, places that we advertised, from the IACP to North Carolina Chiefs to the League of Municipalities, the Justice Academy. We tried Indeed once before. I'll never use it again because, as the town administrator alluded to, for a specific certified police officer position, we had people that were coming to us from the construction industry or from retail that have no police experience at all. So it didn't hit the mark. The schools too, yeah, we have officers that go to the local basic law enforcement training academies and have a wonderful presentation that they use to try to recruit from those seeded students that are looking to become law enforcement officers. We're currently working on accreditation, state specific through North Carolina, also the risk assessment through the North Carolina League of Municipalities. Those are kind of going simultaneously. My focus when we hired a captain was for that person, that position, to start working on that right away. And he's absolutely hit the ground running. One of the things that I think has helped us along the way is with our policy platform, Lexipol. We've contracted with Lexipol for several years now, and they give us state-specific updates, national updates, anything that would change in case law that would keep us sharp on best practices and doing things the right way. As you know, there's a lot of liability in what we do. Fire's probably going to speak to the same thing. I mean, we're put in situations, I mean, just by the nature of what we do. We drive fast, we carry guns, we have the ability to restrict people's movement. And we want to be sure that people are trained to do the job and that they understand the laws, constitutional law, state-specific law, to limit the liability that the police department places on the town of Sunset Beach. And one of the ways that we do that is through training. And we offer a lot of in-house training. We have a couple instructors on staff that are state certified and able to teach. But we also send people to outside trainings. And as you know, outside instructors are kind of looked at by, he tried to call me too. Outside instructors are kind of looked at as the experts. And so when we send officers to those trainings, I don't want to say they take more from it, but I think they listen a little more than if it's coming from an in-house instructor. So fortunately, the council has been generous with allowing us to send people to outside training. And if you look at our training budget, it's not significant, but it's sufficient enough that we're able to send people away to get some really good training. We do try to offset as much as we can with grants. We're the second year recipient of a grant through the Chiefs Association for an employee management platform called Essential Personnel, which documents everything an employee does on our side of the building. And when I say our side of the building, you asked about where other members are staffed. We're on that side of the building, as you probably know. But essential personnel tracks early warning, which is a requirement under general statute. So if we have an employee that has done something that falls in the category for early warning, we track it through essential personnel, vehicle accidents, firearms discharges, citizen complaints, those sorts of things are tracked in the early warning system. And it's designed to do exactly like the title implies, to give us an early warning if we're going to have problem behavior with an employee down the road. And that platform's been tremendous.
Chief, did you
Yes,
say
ma'am.
this was funded by a grant?
Second year in a row. Yep. Since
Great.
we've had it through the Chiefs Association. I'm a board member on the Chiefs of Police Association.
Very good.
Not that gives me an edge, but that's one of the resources that I use a lot to try to find out what's going on across the state for best practices. And again, doing this for over 30 years, I find that, it doesn't matter, we're a 20-man department. You look at a 200-man department, there are the same issues in a 200-man department, just more of them that we experience in a 20-man. In my off-duty time, which is not much, I'm a college professor, and I talk with folks there that come from all over the United States, sometimes different parts of the world. Not all of them are law enforcement. Some of them are working their way that way, or some of them are in the fire service. But I talk about vacancies, and there are agencies. Just last week, I had a class where an officer said that they're 250 people short. Now, of course, they have thousands of officers, so it's all relative. But if you take a 20-man department and have just a handful of vacancies in a 20-man department, it really changes how we have to do things. So scheduling falls under him, and he's done an outstanding job of continuing to do more with less, and utilize our resources where they're most effective. We work well with the other departments, and one of the things that I learned real quick when I came here in 17 was, I came from Northern Ohio. So if we'd have had a snowstorm, I'm your man. I was prepared to talk about snow. And I come here and I'm like, what's this hurricane thing? And I found out real quick that the staff, everybody worked really well together and had a good grip on what needed to be done for our community to make sure that they were safe for a weather-related event. We did have some snow last year, and even though I had a lot of experience in it, it was different driving in that snow than it was from up north because there's no salt. But again, I'm sure you've seen my Facebook Live things that I do
Yes,
during
they're
a weather
great.
event. It's gained me, I guess, infamous popularity because people recognize me all over the place because of those things.
But
But
thank you for that, because people that have property here
yeah,
that aren't here got to see what their town looked like.
sure.
So that was good to do.
That's
that.
one of the things
Good
I found
PR.
out real fast was that, I thought, well, there's really nothing to show. But the people that aren't here that have a very, vested interest in the town, they have property here. They're considering driving 2 hours, 3 hours sometimes to come here and check on their property. And then I do a tour of the city and they can see it. And it gives them peace of mind. So it was received real well. And there's other towns that I've seen are kind of following suit. So I guess that's a compliment to what we're doing when they want to imitate what we do.
You should be happy you have good drivers to drive you.
I know, I put a lot of faith in them doing that kind of stuff. But we have, we're always looking for ways to better serve the community. As you saw, we had a grant, I'm sorry, it wasn't a grant, we had a generous donation through Sunset Vision for Project Lifesaver antenna that we can use to track anybody that would happen to go missing. And we were completely trained on that less than 2 weeks before we actually had a use for it, and then somebody went missing. And within 20 minutes of arriving on scene, we were able to find the gentleman that was stuck in the marsh. And it's a life-saving piece of equipment that it's invaluable. We purchased a drone in the last, or we upgraded our drone, I should say, in our last budget. This drone has infrared capability. And if we did not have that Project Lifesaver device, I'm certain that if we had a general area where this gentleman was, that in the recent example, our drone would have found him because there wasn't a lot of heat signatures coming out of that marsh other than that one individual. something that we focus on. I mentioned it earlier when we were talking about beach patrol, education over enforcement, and we've done a great job, in my opinion, to help people to be able to protect themselves and protect their property. And our focus is on service, and a lot of the things that we do are not typical for an agency that, like Wilmington or Myrtle Beach, for example, where they're running call to call to call, and their, shot spotter is telling them where shots are being fired. We're blessed to be in a community like Sunset Beach, and we're able to do things for our community that other agencies that are running call to call really don't have time to do. And I'll give you one example, and this is several years ago when I first questioned, why are we doing this? We get a call from the dispatch center to go to someone's house and help them take something out of the trunk that was heavy. Like, why are we doing that? That's not a police function. We have time to do those sort of things, and by us responding there and maybe helping them pick up a large bag of potatoes or whatever it was that we picked out of the trunk of the car, prevents them from trying to do it themselves and falling and hurting themselves or throwing their back out, and then fire has to come and help them up if they've fallen, or worse yet, the ambulance has to come. So we're fortunate to be able to do those sort of things and have the time to do that to keep our community safe. More than happy to answer any questions you have about our operation. Or
that last piece, I think, is crucial. When you think about Sunset Beach, we're the second oldest town in North Carolina. First is Ocean Isle. And to be able to give our residents that type of security, yes, it is preventive, but it's also that security that a lot of our aging population relies on. So thank you for doing that.
Certainly.
It's a great public relations, and I know you all probably know a lot of us better through that. I mean, and that's a good thing. That's part of that community policing that we like to see.
We do a house check program when people are away. We have a program called Are You Okay? For our elderly population that maybe doesn't have somebody to check on them. And Miss Betty on the island, everybody knows Miss Betty. We've adopted her.
Good.
And we take good care of her. Make sure that she's well cared for.
Got a question?
Yes, sir.
Of course. I know what the welfare checks are for in your reports, but every now and then the terminology throws me for a loop, and I'm trying.
Special checks, maybe.
Yeah, special checks, and then you got you are accompanying somebody someplace. It's
escort.
Pardon?
An escort. Maybe?
Escort. Okay. And exactly what's that? Just what I said.
Just what it says. Yeah, and I mean it depends what it might be. It could vary from if someone they saw something during the day that they didn't even feel comfortable about, and we're going to escort them or stand by while they walk to their car from a closing business. That could be one example.
Okay. That's all. I just look at those.
And we encourage people that, if you see something, we want you to say something. And by all means, if you don't feel that for whatever reason, if you got a funny phone call during the day while you're at your home or at your resident or at your business, and you just don't feel right walking through a dark parking lot to your car, we'll come and we'll sit in the parking lot and make sure that you get to your car okay, or even take a step forward further, meet you at the doorstep and walk with you to your car.
That's all I have.
I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you both.
Yes, thank you very much.
Getting
I
off
think
easy.
my only question is, I don't know if you want to wait and elaborate later once more discussions take place regarding the from the beach patrol to the ambassador program.
Sure.
That I didn't know if you want to now or wait till later.
Yeah, I
since
think,
it's gonna be
like I said, I
discussed.
mean, it's early on in this transition, so we haven't even, when I say we, police department staff and public works staff have not even sat down to talk about, hey, here's who we employed in the previous year, here's who you should bring back in the next year. We haven't even done that yet, so I feel it'd be a little too soon to have that, to completely be able to discuss that right now.
We were just asked that last week, so that's why I
Sure.
figured this would be the perfect time to
Sure.
get feedback if y'all had any. Thank y'all for everything.
You're welcome.
y'all do.
Thank you.
All right, my turn. Hello, everyone. I think we've all met, but my name's Richard Childress. I'm the fire chief. I'm proud to lead a team of 34 dedicated men and women at the Sunset Beach Fire Department. We do a host of things along with fire suppression, obviously, but water, beach rescue, emergency medical services, technical rescue, emergency management, a couple of things we do extra. We also do fire and fire marshal activities within the town limits. I'm proud to say we are hold a distinguished Class 2 rating in the North Carolina Department of Insurance. Very proud of that.
I'm sorry, what was that rating
A
again?
2.
A 2.
A 2. It's our goal to get to a 1. I don't know if I'll be able to do that in my employment, but that's the goal anyway, and that's what I'm saying. So our team includes myself, my deputy chief, Joseph Adams. We've got a division chief that's over our beach rescue program. We've got 21 full-time firefighters, 7 part-time firefighters, 3 paid-on-call firefighters, 1 part-time administrative assistant, and 1 part-time fire inspector. And as
Hold on
we,
1 second. Can we repeat that?
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's
I'm trying to write it down.
sorry, and you'll have this. I made a note to send you our
Oh, okay,
organization chart
perfect.
as
Thank
well.
you. Perfect.
But we've got 21. I'll go through that a little bit. We've got 21 full-time staff, full-time firefighters. I'm sorry. So that puts us at 7 personnel on A, B, and C. So we have 24-hour coverage. So we have A shift, there's 7. B shift, there's 7. C shift, there's 7. So our goal is to keep 7 people in the town at all times. You know, obviously we try to keep that, but we do have injuries at times. We've got one that's in the National Guard about to be deployed. So our minimum staffing, we want our minimum staffing to be 6. So that's 3 people at Station 1 and 3 people at Station 2. And we're hitting that as of today. And last year, council approved 3 new people that was able to get us to 7. So go through the part-time people. So one of those out of the 7, one of them is a part-time fire inspector who handles the annual fire prevention inspections on all our commercial businesses within the town limits. We do have a part-time administrative assistant that works 20 hours a week that does take calls, does some administrative activities for the FD, but the main job is to operate our iWorks account, keep track of that, and track payments from the fire
Where is that
inspections.
individual employed? At 1 or 2?
Fire Station 1.
Okay.
Fire Station 1. So her main job is to do admin work for the fire inspections. So the remainder of the 6 part-time firefighters cover shifts. So if somebody takes a vacation or something like that, they work that, try to come in and work that shift. So they're not always on duty. The 3 paid on call, they come back. So they're paid on call. So they come back to a major incident, major car wreck, major fires, things like that. Every April, so somewhere
Let
around.
me ask you more about staffing. Do we have any volunteers?
No, everyone gets paid somewhat. So we changed the terminology from volunteer to paid on call,
Okay.
and they get paid for call.
Have we ever had a volunteer fire group?
We have, and some people still call the paid on call position volunteer, but I have a hard time saying that because they do get paid somewhat. So
In your time here as the fire chief, have we ever had a volunteer? Or have they all been paid on call?
there's always been some type of stipend like that. Back in the day when I first started, I think it was around $5 a call or something like that. And obviously that's been increased since.
How long have you been our fire chief?
So they get council pay, huh?
September, I celebrated
They
my
get more than us.
24th year.
How long have you been the fire chief?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You've been the fire chief 3 years.
What's 3 years? October was 3 years. October was 3 years.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So our staff increases every year around March, April when Beach Rescue comes on board. We try to hire 15 seasonal employees that is our beach rescue operations. That number can go up or down depending on the year. Some years we have 20 or 25 applicants. Other years we have 10 or so applicants. We do have a lot of returning members that served with us for 7, 8 years doing that. So we're very proud of them. Every year we're out trying to recruit to get us some new hires coming in on board. Last year council gave us a third. So June, July, and August, we worked 3 people on the beach. I think they're at 10 to 5 is the coverage on the beach. So we changed their hours some this year. But we did pick up that third. We're grateful for that. Early season and late season, we're at 2. So I think everybody's aware we've got 2 fire stations, one on Old Georgetown Road and one under the bridge. I want to talk a little bit about our service districts because we do serve a rather large districts that's not within the town limits. So a little bit of our boundaries. Our western boundary is just beyond Forest Drive near the Regency curve around that area. Eastern boundary is we cover we stop at the Builder Supply on Beach Drive. So on the direction towards Ocean Isle, we stop there. Our northern boundary is just before Meadow Summit on Seaside Road. And then on Georgetown Road, we cover Cape Side. That's the last community we cover there.
Would that be the south? Cape Side South? Is that the South District?
I say west.
All right,
West.
so you went a little fast.
I'm sorry.
So western, I have Forest Drive. Eastern, I have stop at Builder Supply.
Yes.
Going toward Ocean Isle Beach.
Yes.
And then the north, I have Meadow Summit.
Mm-hmm. And then I've just got it documented at Old Georgetown Road.
Okay. Thank you.
So that would be western also.
Okay.
Just western in a different location.
So that's your service district.
That's our
So
service.
you don't go any farther than that, or are you called in for mutual aid, or?
We do. We have a
Okay.
great relationship with Calabash and Ocean Isle Beach. We also serve many other departments in mutual aid as well throughout Brunswick County. So we do respond out when requested to the other places. We also utilize Ocean Isle Beach and Calabash in the event of a major incident here on Sunset. We have a island, and island house fires are not easy. All of the fires are wind driven. Typically when we do have a home fire, unless we're alerted early, sometimes that interacts with multiple houses there. So we do rely a lot on mutual aid for those type of fires, and we pay it back to those communities as well. So a couple programs we do. We're fortunate we get to see a lot of the homes in Sunset Beach. We've got a very active smoke alarm program, so we go out at least once a week, sometimes multiple times a week, and we offer to change batteries in smoke alarms and install new smoke alarms. So we have a very prominent program there.
Do you bring the batteries, or do they?
We do not. We do have some, but we try to get them to buy their own batteries. They can get pricey, so
Yes.
we try to make that call. Say, and typically that's not an issue. We do CPR and AED programs. So I think last week they were at the Methodist Church. They do a lot in Sea Trail, Sandpiper. We try to get out to every community and host some CPR courses, hands only CPR, AED courses. That seems to go over well. We do car seat installations, so we don't have a huge population of car seats, but occasionally we do get one when the grandparents, the grandkids come stay with the grandparents sometimes in the summer. And we do fire prevention. As I said, we've got a part-time fire inspector. He goes out every We've got some good rules about commercial occupancies in Sunset Beach. We inspect them on an annual basis, and that goes over very well. We do have occasionally the new business coming through, the new development. We spend a lot of time trying to get in the fire code with that, and making sure they're hitting all the rules with that. Our call volume over the past 5 years, we're around 1,300 incidents. That ranges from fires to lifting assistance, things like that. The bulk of our calls, almost 50% of our calls, are EMS related.
The call volume you said was 1,300. What's the measure? I mean, what's the time frame on that?
The past 5 years, our average is 1,300 a year.
The average is 1,300 a year.
Mhm.
Thank you.
So 50% are EMS type of, is that, when you know it's an EMS, do you have to take the fire truck there, or is that?
We do. So,
because I know-
I'll talk a little bit about that. So we do get the occasional call for that. So we do run a fire apparatus to EMS calls. We never know what we're going to go into. Specifically, in our aging population, we do a lot of falls, and on a lot of occasions, that person is in a home and has fell in a location, the doors are locked. So we need to have all the tools to be able to get in that house. It's unfortunate that we have to go through a door sometimes, but we do. And if we're on an EMS call, such as, let's talk about some of the points I mentioned earlier on the districts. If we're in pickup trucks, if we're in a pickup truck on Forest Drive, and a fire comes out on the island, then that crew has to go back to the station, get in their rig, swap equipment, and then go to that fire, and we lose valuable time. So our utmost priority is keep that crew in the rig 24/7, able to respond and things like that.
You don't always know what you're going to be faced with once you get there.
We don't.
Because when people call, they're in a panic and they don't tell you everything.
That is true.
So it's good to have the apparatus there in case something else was the culprit of the problem.
Very much so. And DC and he's been here employed with the town for how many years now? Almost 22.
Oh, are you our longest standing employee? Oh, 24 and 23. Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so when we were coming up in Sunset Beach, we did the pickup truck thing, and that was back in the day where the only firefighters you had were him and I. We had a station under the bridge, and we had no Station 2 back then, so we had Sandpiper Bay. That was back in the days we had Angel Trace, so the response was a little bit quicker, but it was still a 10-minute response. So imagine at 2 a.m., him and I get in a pickup truck to go to an EMS call, and the neighbor's house is on fire. We're in a pickup truck. That's a problem.
Yes.
So keeping that crew together, keeping the integrity of fire apparatus is the way to go. So that's about all I got for you. Any questions for me?
We have a new fire truck on order. Is that what we call it, on order?
On order.
Because it takes 2 years to build the fire truck?
So,
or more?
So we signed the paperwork the actual paperwork we signed was 42 to 48 months. DC is headed to Ohio Wednesday morning to do what's called a pre-build. So that's where DC and the apparatus committee, they go through the specs line by line on that visit. We're hoping that when he gets back, they have a better sense of when that truck will be delivered. Currently, they're still saying possibly another year, but I'm hoping that he gets a little better detail on that. So they've still got quite a bit of time before they hit that 48-month. We ordered in October of 2023, so they've still got some time, but we're hoping we'll get a better look and see when that is.
Question. How is the other truck? You've got several, right? One is you're going to replace.
We do.
The
We
one
do.
right behind it. How is that?
So we do our next replacement truck, and I mentioned that in budget presentation last year, is the ladder truck. So call them a couple of different things: ladder truck, aerial truck, Quint. So our Quint is a 2021. So the NFPA recommends that you keep the truck frontline. So frontline is what's used day to day. So our Quint's being used day to day right now, and it's good practice to put that in service for 10 years. So day to day at 10 years, and then so 2031 we need to be taking delivery of a new aerial truck. Unfortunately, and you're probably aware of this, is our trucks are very, very expensive. The cost is out of sight, just completely out of sight. So somewhere, I don't know, I don't think it'll be this year when I come to you asking to replace that truck, but probably the next year we're going to be looking at ordering a aerial truck, depending on the wait times, delays, and things like that. So we're hoping overall in the country those times minimized in some way, but we'll see.
What price figure are those now, knowing it'll increase?
So I think I mentioned in the presentation 2.5.
You said 3.
3.
Yeah.
3 million,
So
maybe 4 million, but
we hope not. There's got to be a stopping point at some
Crazy.
point for these trucks.
Do we have any of these in the debt service?
We do.
They're all in there. Okay.
We do. Got it.
When you do the old fire truck with 627 when it gets what are you gonna? What happens with the old fire truck in 2627 when it's replaced by the new one?
So we'll auction it, try to get, depending on when that is. So we'll look at all the options and see what our best bet is at that point, but probably auction it. I think we're going to be able to get some decent money for it, especially, one of the side effects of fire trucks going, the prices going crazy, is that we should be able to get a significant amount for the truck we're replacing. But we'll cross that bridge then. Try to get, we want to get the most as we can.
And would you use the Gov Deal program?
Probably so.
Okay.
Probably so. The Gov Deals. The Gov Deals has been doing very well for us, so I think that'll be a great avenue for us. That way, we get it across the countrywide, and what that means, all our equipment we've replaced. All town departments have been using an auction site called Gov Deals. We did jet skis, we did UTVs, and it's doing extremely well.
Lisa, I have a question for you. Besides what we're waiting to order or getting ready to go look at, I think it's like $715,000 that we owe on that. Do we owe any more money on any other rigs that he has in his fleet right now? Do you know of any more loans on them or anything?
Yes.
We do.
Mhm.
We do. We do. We've got just I think another year on the Ferrara.
Okay.
And then we're currently paying for the Sutphen that we have now.
The 21 stuff. Yes.
The 21 Sutphen.
Okay.
I did speak to Tara about that, and the time frame we're looking and taking delivery, one of them will be complete at that point in time.
Okay.
So we will have 2 active payments at some point.
And do you, I know you probably don't have the answer, but any idea what we owe on the Ferrari?
I don't have
Okay,
any idea.
that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
Tara will get back to you with
Okay.
all, anything budget or finance related.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
and when is Tara back?
She is still on medical leave. I'm hoping she'll be here on the 24th, Monday the 24th, but if not, definitely December 1st.
Anybody else?
Thank you, gentlemen.
I'm good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you got any other questions?
Thank you for
Good.
doing
Well, I
this.
hope it's been
Appreciate it.
beneficial,
Yeah,
these
thank you.
last 2 that we've done with you, or that I've
Yeah.
started and then ended
Yeah.
up with everybody.
Yeah.
As you can see, I think that we have a very cohesive group that works well together, and we are we are definitely a team. Anytime that anybody has a need, or we're in hurricane or ice storm or an event that Amy's got, we're all hands on deck, and we are there to help, as always.
Great.
I had
Yeah.
one other thing I thought of for police, sorry. Regarding, at the last council meeting, it was mentioned about Auto Connect in off-season, the $2,000 they wanted to charge, and you had mentioned that you would like y'all to continue doing that. Previously, was there any discussion I know y'all use the company for your, I believe, tickets and getting the money payment. Is that correct?
Correct.
Was there ever any discussion within police doing any of the ticketing for parking tickets or not?
For the paid program,
For the paid program?
there was no discussion about
Okay.
that.
Didn't know if that was something y'all even interested in, not interested in.
It wasn't mentioned, so I have not given it any thought.
Okay.
You would need to hire additional personnel if we brought tickets back in, correct?
Right, to staff it the way that Auto runs it, we need to hire some personnel to do it. For sure.
Is that something, if later down the road, seasonal type of people could be used for, like other things or not?
So we did parking prior to going to the paid parking program, and when Auto took that over, we did that, and we hired seasonal personnel to do that. So yeah, that would likely be the way it would be managed, would be with seasonal personnel.
Did that go well or not? I mean,
I think it went well. Yeah, they dedicated their entire day to doing nothing but parking enforcement. When the police department was tasked rather with doing parking enforcement and all of their other responsibilities, that wasn't their top priority. There was other areas, there's other needs. But when we had the seasonal personnel that did nothing but look for parking violations, they did a good job.
Seems like, go
oh,
ahead.
go ahead.
It seems like you all would be, from a safety standpoint, you all would be a better fit for that. And with the money that was generated, you could probably hire an additional person.
We didn't staff it with police officers.
No, it was not
It
staff.
was civilian
Oh, I'm
personnel.
sorry, I
So
misunderstood. Okay.
it could still be a situation where, similar to compliance, where somebody could be upset that they're getting a citation.
Right.
9 times out of 10 or better, when you're issuing a parking citation, though, it's an empty vehicle. So there's less of a chance that you'd have some sort of confrontation, but there is that chance. Our employees had a town-issued phone, and supervisors' numbers were in there, so if they needed something, then our instruction to them was not to engage, disengage, and call for the police.
Yeah, because what is your take on the parking spots moving forward after hours? Like they're there from 9 to 5. Is that
As far
just
as
normal
help me
enforcement of
understand.
ticket? I guess, for example, they do the ticketing. That's let's say somebody parks improperly, whether they parked not in the right spot, they parked the wrong way, they didn't pay the paid parking. After hours, you kind of have all the same scenarios except for the not paying part.
Except for the paid aspect.
Yeah.
I understand.
Is that something that our police department, because to me, that's a thing to handle in season and off season, but didn't know, I know this year was, challenging with it being new and a lot of people, but didn't know if that was something being looked at or if y'all, there's a lot of people that park incorrectly after 5 o'clock till 9 a.m. as well.
And typically we've handled that through the entire year. And I know when the topic was raised about Jim's crew taking over, or I shouldn't say taking over, but continuing to enforce.
Right.
The price, I don't think that it would, I think would be upside down in it with the number of violations that are there for the amount of time that somebody would be patrolling the island. So we continue to do that. Of course, we don't assign somebody specifically to the island in the off season.
Right.
So they patrol it, similar they do with other neighborhoods.
Thank you.
Did that fully answer your
That
question?
does.
I'm not sure.
I think it's the I guess I've been asked a lot of questions about the enforcement as far as ticketing after the 5 o'clock till the 9 a.m. time frame.
And we do. We
Yeah.
do issue citations
Yeah.
after 5.
Yeah.
Primarily, they're looking for the wrong directions, blocking sight lines, fire hydrants, those sort of things.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else?
Good. Thank you.
Great.
This meeting ended earlier than the last one.